Devontae Jackson, 75 yards, first play from scrimmage. It's a Texan touchdown. Line, and it's headed across the 40 and then some. We may be having some electricity to start this ball game, football fans. Down the sidelines, number 10, that's Keon House. Kickoff return for a Colt touchdown. LeBlanc out of the stretch. Sky towards left center field. The wind is carrying it. Is it gone? It is! Jackson Irons with a two-run shot over the left center field fence. He'll plate Wharton, and it's 6-4. Patomeco with the pass. Narario has a bit of a look. Shot on goal, and he gets it in! Like Burkle out of position. They've got a pass, and they've got a goal! 9-minute mark. And that will be a Diablos goal! Two tight end set here as we go to the left-hand side with B.J. Rogers. Rogers is into the second level! B.J. Rogers to midfield! One man trying to catch up to him, but he will not! Number 6, in for 6! That will do it! 5:22 to go in the game. JoJo Murray in motion. They're going to do a jet sweep to him on the near side of the field. JoJo Murray across midfield. One man to beat. JoJo Murray's inside the 10. That's a touchdown! That's a touchdown! JoJo Murray on the 60-yard end around!
This broadcast is under intellectual property and may not be repurposed or reproduced without express written consent. Enjoy this presentation from Zach Arnold Productions, Energetic Media Solutions.
Two of the hottest teams in the city are peaking at exactly the right time to face off in a Friday night clash that could potentially determine the outcome of the entire district. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the pregame show for what is going to be a classic Arlington ISD game of the week. Broadcasting live on Zap, and it's presented by John Wade Roofing. Zach Arnold, my pops Doug, on the call with producer Mom and Jot Holly also along for the ride for what is going to shape up to be a fantastic night for football. It is a clear blue skies with some shades of pink, Pops, which is appropriate because it's pink out night for the Volunteers.
Yes, it is. What an exciting night with all the teams and the cheerleaders, and everything's just set up for a perfect Friday night light here at Wilemon Field as we get ready to celebrate these two teams, tops in the district, both of them undefeated. Somebody's going to go away with an L tonight.
The pregame show is presented by our friends at Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services, Inc. They are a family-owned business with a team of professionals who have served the Arlington area for over 50 years. Don't let insurance be a headache. Chapman Cornelius can help you create a customized plan tailored for your small business's needs and budget. Call April or Jason today at 817-265-3346. Pops, Arlington is 3-0. Bowie is 3-0 in District 8-6A. Somebody's going home with an L, as you mentioned. Bowie is fresh off of a win against Martin for the first time in over 5 years. Yeah. And Arlington dispatched South Grand Prairie with ease in their ball game a couple of weeks ago. Took care of business against Sam Houston. And now we're shaping up for what could be the de facto district title here tonight.
Yeah, this could be the game that sends the top player to the top team to the playoffs tonight. I mean, it's just a wonderful setup. You know, Bowie got off to a slow start in off-season, but, you know, that may have been set up by Coach Sam to take his team into battle against some very difficult preseason opponents. And then when you get into the second season, they've been rolling.
They have indeed. They get a big win against Martin. They got a couple of other district wins that were very much in their favor. Hardly any nail-biters to it. So, yes, a very strong opening schedule. The Capel Cowboys are on a roll. They are in contention for first place in their district. And so, yes, those types of games are the ones that prepare you for stuff like tonight here at Wilemon Field. We're going to be seeing a clash of the Titans offensively. number 6 for the Volunteers, Darian Bowers, has rushed for almost 800 yards and 10 touchdowns, an 8.1 yards per carry clip, which is good for number 7 in all of the area for 6A competitors in Dallas-Fort Worth. Meanwhile, on the flip side, for Arlington High, you've got number 45, Isaiah Robertson, who has a combined 707 yards of offense through catching and running, because you have that Wildcat Maverick formation, we've been dubbing it, but then you also have his ability to make big play catches, and that's why he's a 3-star recruit going to SMU next year. The number for his totals, if he was only receiving or if he was only rushing, 707 all-purpose yards would be number 4 in receiving yards if it was the 707, or it would be number 12 in rushing yards in the area. So a very balanced attack from that young man, helping pace the Arlington offense to a very strong winning streak. They have not lost since their game against Flower Mound Marcus, which they were in all the way into the fourth quarter. So I dare say Arlington is 1 quarter away from being undefeated. This 5-1 start is one of the best ones they've had in years.
Yes, and I would attribute that start to their defense continually getting better every week. Coach Colby Hensley has been developing some great game plans for his defense, and they have really been dominating the games that they've been in the last several weeks. And so that, combined with the balanced offense that Arlington has, the balanced rushing attack with Akintati and Robertson, and the wide receivers that they've got, and the running legs of the running quarterback. I mean, you've got Cravens who can take off and run on you and pick up some good yardage too. So this is really setting up to be a classic Friday Night Lights for Arlington ISD.
Coleman Cravens is what you might call a field general. He has a good command of the Arlington offense and has an understanding of what's expected of him. So even when he has an 8 for 20 performance like he did last week, it doesn't matter. You still get the big win. He's thrown for almost 1,000 yards this season and has been able to minimize his interceptions, which helps be able to pace this offense. But as you mentioned, he's also got 118 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. But if you really want to talk about a dual threat quarterback, you got to look on the other side of the sidelines. Larry Trey Nichols III has 1,251 passing yards and an insane clip of 12 touchdowns to just 1 interception. 40 carries for 317 yards and 6 rushing touchdowns, good for almost 1,600 all-purpose yards and 18 touchdowns. As Trey Nichols goes, so goes the offense.
That's an excellent point. And, you know, when you look at the other side of the ball, you get the defense. You've got number 0, Okello, they call him 00 with the Volunteers, and he is putting up some good numbers as well for the Volunteer defense. So we're really looking forward. You know, look at the Arlington High side of the ball. When you look at their defense, Caleb Olabode, Dallas Williams, Drew Vance, Toby Akintati. We were watching the game last week, and those big guys were breaking into the backfield of Sam Houston and landing on poor Ken Jones. And that's an awful lot of meat on the bone falling on the quarterback. And so those guys are not only big, but they can also move. And so that's something that is notable for both sides of the ball. They've got some good defensive players.
Yeah, Arlington's defense has only been averaging about 23.5 points per game allowed, and Bowie's defense has been locked down, holding Martin to 24 points, I should say, in last week's game. So it's definitely anybody's competition, and we're so excited to be bringing you the AISD Game of the Week. And guess what, folks? We've got a special surprise for you. Your eyes are not going to deceive you. Take a look at this. That's right, folks. For the first time in Zap broadcasting history, we are showing you tonight's game rather than just telling you about it. The reason we have extra manpower tonight is because we are videoing the footage of tonight's broadcast, starting with Arlington High getting the ball to start the game.
This is an exciting moment for Zach Arnold Productions as we are able to show you this clash of the Titans. We've been building it up and talking about it. Arlington's going to drop deep right now. Number 45, Robertson, and number 2, Jamar Burton, are dropping deep to the right side. Number 46 for the Volunteers. Kicking off, and we're underway.
Burton will get it on the near sideline with a running start, and he's got some blockers across the 30 and across the 40. Can't get away from the last tackle, but it'll be great field position for the Colts at the 43-yard line, first down and 10.
Brought down by number 24, Elijah Atwood, for the Volunteers on that play, but that's a good starting field position for the opening series for the Colts here at Wilemon Field.
So we'll get our first look at Coleman Cravens and Abe Atokity, who will be the two young men in the backfield. Welcome to a new era of Zap, everybody. Click the share button and let the folks know where they can tune in as Atokity gets the handoff up the middle. Stiff arms a man right in his face and is finally brought down near midfield.
Yeah, Atokity working to that left side of the line there, and he's finally brought down by the 00 for the Volunteers, Okello. But not before he gets a good pickup on first down there, Zach. He picked up about 6 yards there. It'll be about 4 to go for first down.
Anytime you can play in front of the sticks is a positive thing. Broadcasting live on YouTube, Zach Arnold Productions bringing you a couple of 3-0 teams as Atokity takes the pitch to the right-hand side. He's across midfield and to the far sidelines. He's got very nearly first down yardage there. And it will be enough to move the sticks into plus territory. Atokity on the season has a team-high 73 rushes for 402 yards. That's an average of 5.5 yards per carry. 7 rushing touchdowns for the Colts. 9 catches for 90 yards and a receiving touchdown. He knows how to make catches out of the backfield as well.
One thing I like about Atokity is he doesn't quit. His legs keep churning. He keeps taking defenders with him, and he picks up that positive yardage.
Atokity's got it again to the far side, and he'll get to the 45-yard line before a couple of young men in black jerseys are bringing him to the turf here at Wilemon. The line judge on the near side is only giving him a pickup of 1, but that is a hard-fought one.
Yeah, you mentioned that the Volunteers are in all black tonight except for their white helmet with the orange V on it, but it's they've got a lot of pink trim on there, as this is pink out night for Bowie.
Every Arlington ISD school has a breast cancer awareness night. It's also gun violence awareness night. We'll try to circle back to that when we have the opportunity. Pressure off the edge. Cravens on this backside. Throws across the field. It's complete at the 40-yard line. Nice little pitch and catch there as number 3, Tayshawn Ghostin, makes the catch on the sidelines.
Not quite enough for a first down there, as the Colts will still need about 3 yards to go here. Ball sitting right at the Volunteer 40-yard line.
9.5 minutes in this opening quarter. Cravens with the handoff. Atokity with the run. Sheds 1 tackle and is leaning forward, but may not have enough for the line to gain. The 4th down fist comes up. It's 4th and a yard, and Arlington's offense is staying out there. Two receivers to the left, 2 receivers to the right. It's Robertson in the Wild Maverick formation. Not the Wild Cat, it's the Wild Horse, so we're calling it a Maverick. Robertson puts a man in motion. Fakes the jet sweep, up the middle, leans forward. It's going to be a matter of left or right-footed ref, but it looks like he didn't get it. The Volunteer defense is ecstatic as they get an opening stop to start the game. 8:41 to go in the first. We're still scoreless here in Arlington. We'll take a short break and be right back with the Game of the Week on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing. John Wade Roofing is celebrating 40 years serving the Arlington area. John Sr. played for Colt football and was the team MVP in '76. He went on to play for TCU, earning all conference honors. The family has a Colt legacy that spans generations and wants to help your family's roofing needs, plus gutters, painting, solar, and more. For more information, go to John Wade Roofing. First play of the game is going to be a run to Darian Bowers, and he did not get anywhere. In fact, he loses a few yards. Bowers, one of the best rushers in the area, as we mentioned during the pregame, 788 yards on the season. but he loses about 5 or 6 on that one.
Yeah, we mentioned Doc and Toddy in the pregame show. Number 50 got in there and took him down.
Nichols play action. Going to go to the far sideline. It's caught, and he is met right there at the 37-yard line. That's a good completion back near the original line of scrimmage, but it will bring up a 3rd down and long for Bowie.
Samaji Davis, a ball hawk that time, getting in there on that play and taking his opponent down immediately.
That was Zion Shelley, number 9, with the reception, I believe. It'll bring up 3rd down and 11, says the scoreboard. 7:40 in the first quarter. Nichols takes it, pass play all the way. Looking, rolling, trying to extend the play. A flag is thrown. It's deep, and it is caught on the near sidelines. Unfortunately, this highlight reel catch by Dylan Talley will not stand, as there was holding back at the 30-yard line.
Yeah, I saw the hold occur, and I saw the referee pull his flag out just as that ball was released. It was a great pitch and catch, but it was too bad that the offensive line was holding on that play to give the quarterback the time he needed.
So Arlington will accept the penalty, and it'll move the Volunteers back. Instead of a great completion and a great catch with a man draped all over him, Dylan Talley.
Volunteers line up at the line of scrimmage. Colts drop back into a prevent defense look. It's a pass all the way. Nichols rolls to his right, and he takes off, and he runs up 40-yard line, 45. Colts, a gang of Colts finally bring him down at about the 47-yard line, picking up the 1st down on the play.
Well, wouldn't you know it, we talk about doing a live stream of the game, and the battery dies. We're in the process of bringing it back online, but it is a 1st down for the Volunteers near midfield.
21-yard run there for Nichols. 2 left, 2 right. Nichols hands off to Bowers up to the right side, crosses the 50-yard line, finally brought down at about the Colt 48. Number 9, Troy McDaniel there for the Colts to get the stop. The Volunteers do pick up about 4 on that play. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Nichols lines up, 2 receivers left, 1 to the 2 receivers right. He's looking to pass all the way, looks left, complete to number 8 and brought down by number 8 almost immediately. Dylan Talley makes the catch. Deion Mays makes the tackle. Volunteers look to their sideline looking for the sign to come in for the next play. The Volunteers lost yardage on that play. It'll be 3rd down and 8 now, says the scoreboard. The sideline sticks seem to indicate more like 3rd down and 9. Bowers brings his team up, one left, 1 right. He's looking to the left side. He throws. The receiver is open, but it looks like he was held as the flag does come in from the referee. The receiver, number 8 on that left side, Dylan Talley, was held by Arlington's number 18, Drew Barrientos. Wait for the referee to make the official call, but based on our visual vantage point, we could see the hold on that far side. That is the call, pass interference on the Colt defense. That'll give the Volunteers a 1st down. Referees are moving the ball into the Colt 40-yard line. They'll put it down at the 36-yard line. The Colt 36 is where the Volunteers will start with a new 1st and 10. 2 receivers to the right. Bowers in the backfield with Nichols. Handoff is to Bowers. He rolls to his left. He gets to the corner. Gets around to about the 28-yard line before he's finally brought down by number 23, Samaji Davis for the Colts. Good pickup on 1st down there by the running back Bowers. That'll bring up 2nd down and 1 for the Volunteers. Nichols in the backfield by himself. 3 to the right, 2 receivers to the left. Now he takes a moment and looks to the sideline. see what the new play call might be. They're adjusting here at midstream. 5 seconds left on the clock. The snap, he looks to the right. Pass complete to number 9 for the Volunteers, Zion Shelley. He's brought down almost immediately, but not before the Volunteers pick up another first down on this initial drive for their night. Ball spotted at the Arlington High 23-yard line. Bowers in the backfield with Larry Nichols. Nichols pulls back to pass, but now he brings it in, and he's looking for a hole. He's scrambling in the backfield, coming to the near sideline here, and he's finally brought down for a minimal gain on that play. Colts finally caught up to him. Number 9, Troy McDaniel, was able to bring Nichols down. Actually loses a yard on that play. Should be second down and 10.
Fans, we appreciate your patience as we work through our inaugural video feed broadcast. This is our very first time, and we are taking notes on how to be better for next week, but we are excited to have you along for our very first video broadcast as Bowie on the march on their first possession of the game. 5:35 to go in the opening period. Two receivers and two tight ends as Nichols and Bowers make up the backfield.
Well, now they're moving the ball as if there was a flag on the play that we missed.
Penalty against Arlington.
It's like a motion penalty, but I never saw any yellow come out on the grass there.
Head coach Scott Peach is looking for an explanation as the official comes down to explain what went on. You can hear some "Let's Go Bowie" chants from across the way. Really strong contingent of Arlington faithful on this visitor sideline as well, as this next play will take place from inside the red zone. Nichols out of the gun, hands it off. Bowers straight up the middle, dodges a tackle, sheds another one, finally wrestled down. And is it going to be across the goal line? No. The officials on the far side say that he was down as an Arlington player comes away with it, trying to celebrate his fumble recovery. That's number 4, Olabode, thinking that he got the fumble there.
Yeah, Bowers was really fighting hard for the yardage on that play, and he bounced off several Arlington players. And as he was finally brought down with the tackle, the ball came down after he was down. And Olabode thought he had a recovery, but it's just a first and goal for the Volunteers.
Handoff. Bowers trying to finish what he started, plunging his way. Touchdown, Volunteers. Darian Bowers powers his way across the goal line, and Bowie strikes first in this Clash of the Titans. That's his 11th touchdown run of the year.
Number 45 lining up for the kick for the Volunteers, Espinolda.
Good snap, good hold, pressure by Arlington. To no avail, your new score with 5:08 to go in the first quarter. It's Bowie 7 and Arlington nothing. Zach Arnold, my pops Doug, on the call for this game. We'll be right back with the game of the week right after this. Are you a small business owner looking for reliable insurance coverage? Or perhaps you're navigating the complexities of Medicare? Look no further. Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services is a family-owned independent insurance agency with over 50 years of experience, specializing in tailored insurance solutions for small businesses and their owners. Whether you need property, liability, commercial, auto, or even life and health insurance, their knowledgeable agents can help you feel secure in selecting the insurance you need. Call April or Jason at 817-265-3346 or visit chapman-cornelius.com. Welcome back to Wilemon Field. 7-0 your score. Jot Holly on the camera. My mom Patsy on the production side of things as Pops and I bring you the AISD Game of the Week.
That was a pretty impressive opening drive by the Volunteers, Zach. aided by one penalty along the way.
This is a live ball. Somebody fall on it, and they will. Robertson, I think, finally just laid down on it at the 25, so Arlington won't have as good of a field position to start this possession. But hopefully they've gotten a few of the wrinkles out, and they'll be able to be a little more methodical as they go down this field.
You know, Zach, we saw something similar from Arlington in the game last week against Sam Houston right here at Wilemon Field. They were a little bit slow out of the gates, and Sam Houston actually put a touchdown on the board in the first quarter before the Colts finally started to wake up and operate their machinery as they should.
3 receivers set. Cade Story in motion. Atokity on the stretch play. Tries to get away from the defense and cannot. He will lose several yards on that play as Atokity goes backwards against that Bowie pursuit. Second down and long for Arlington. Off and running. Back near the original line of scrimmage is Robertson. It'll bring up third down, and we'll call it 12.
Bowie defense playing very well here at the beginning of the ball game as Arlington's playing behind the stick, Zach.
4 receivers set. Craven's back to pass. Looking right the whole way. Overthrows all of his targets. And it'll be fourth down.
That almost looked like there was a misrun route on that play. The way the ball was placed in the center of the field, both of the receivers turned in on their routes. Looked like a little post route.
So Ethan Alvarez on to punt it away for the Colts as they go 3 and out on their second possession. Any idea who's deep to return, Pop?
He's turned sideways right now. I was looking at it. Number 2, Green, Samaj Green.
A former Arlington Colt will not get the return here as Arlington downs it at midfield. 3:35 to go in the first. This is the AISD Game of the Week on ZAP, presented by John Wade Roofing. Taqueria Taco Express is your one-stop shop for all things authentic Mexican in Arlington and Grand Prairie. And this fall, you'll now have 4 stops to choose from. Visit the new location off 20 and Little Road or any of their 3 original locations and try their $10 Taco Tuesday. It includes 5 tacos and an agua fresca. They also feature new birria items plus tortas, gorditas, and more. Find out just how much more by visiting TaqueriaTacoExpress.com. Welcome back to Wilemon. Bowie with it near midfield. Nichols back to pass. Steps up, going across the middle, deflected in the middle. And that deflection would prevent Kedrick Osunde Brown from a big gain. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, everything was wide open in the middle of the ball field there as Osunde Brown got into the flat, and it was a good defensive play to swat that one away.
Bowie already up a touchdown with 3.5 to go here in the opening period. Tosses something to the sidelines as they go with more of a spread formation. 2 to the left and now a second receiver to the right. Nichols out of the gun, going underneath, and it is caught. No, incomplete near midfield.
Intended by Zion Shelley there, but it was just overshot a little bit, and Akintati was right there to wrap him up but didn't have to throw him down for that.
So it'll bring up third down and 10 at the 49. Bowie striking first, leading it 7-0. Nichols rolling to his right, looking underneath, going up top and going over the top of everybody.
Yeah,
no flags.
Yeah, intended again for Zion Shelley on the outside, but that ball just sailed on Nichols.
Local legends, sports figures, and Donna Nipper in the live chat. If you subscribe to the page for more than 20 minutes, you can join the chat too. Let us know who you're cheering for tonight and where you're tuning in from. Thanks for being a part of the Zap Game of the Week.
So, Zach, the Colt defense did a good job there on that series, not getting any further behind on the scoreboard, as Bowie is going to have to punt this one away with Robertson in the back waiting for the kick.
It's a high snap and a higher kick. Robertson will leave it alone and tell his men to stay away from it. Did it touch an Arlington player? The referee says yes. Now the back judge coming to have a conversation. Coach Sam is right there trying to plead his case. They will give Arlington the ball at the 18, and we'll be right back with the Game of the Week on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing. Pecan Park Dental isn't your typical dental office. Nestled under the shade of 60-year-old pecan trees, Dr. Stephanie Bangs and her team provide advanced dental care in a warm, inviting setting that feels like home. Whether you're looking for the latest cosmetic dentistry or a cozy place where you and your kids feel at ease, Pecan Park Dental is your go-to in Arlington. 7-0 your score at Wilemon Field. Arlington looking to answer the Bowie score. Playing with the worst field position they've had all night. Craven's on the keeper on the zone read. He's got a little bit of a crease to the near side, and it's very near first down yardage. A good read by the quarterback, a good run, and it's exactly 10 yards, enough for a first down.
You know, he did some good maneuvering in the backfield there. He maintained composure, eluded some of the defenders that got back there with him, and picked up some good positive yards. Good play there by Coleman Cravens.
He had 4 carries for 40 yards last week against Sam Houston. Picks up 10 there as we hit 2.5 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Cravens play action going underneath. It's caught by Jamar Burton out of the slot. 3 or 4 Bowie defenders converge on him, but not before a pickup of 9, maybe 9.5.
Yeah, number 44, Galatian Paugofi, was right there in the middle of that pile of volunteer defenders, but good pickup there by Burton on that first down play.
We'll call it a gain of 8, says the scoreboard. 2nd down and 2. Cravens keeps it himself on the zone read again. A flag is down as a big hit is applied on the quarterback. This is in the area of holding pops. Arlington's offensive line pulled from the left to the right side to create some misdirection.
Well, and the fake handoff to Otokity was pretty effective as 4 or 5 volunteer defenders closed on him, and then they had the rest of the defense had to shift to this visitor sideline in order to actually make the tackle on Cravens. But it is going to be, the ball's going to be moved back for the holding call.
It'll go back 10 yards, and Arlington will play from behind the original line of scrimmage now. 1:43 remaining in the first. 7-0 your score between the Vols and the Colts here at Wilemon Field in East Arlington. Empty backfield for Cravens. 3 receivers to his left. He'll step up, throws across the middle, and there was a lot of contact.
Where
but
are
the
the flags?
Umpire was ducking away from the pass and did not see the arm that was draped over the receiver, who is still showing his sleeve. That's Robertson. His shoulder pad was pulled down by the defense. It sure as heck wasn't pulled down by himself.
Coach Peach making his appeal to the side judge on this near side, on the visitor side.
He's saying, how can his jersey be off his shoulder if there wasn't some kind of interference? 4 receivers set now. Otokity going on a pass play. Cravens looking deep, and it'll be incomplete.
Intended down there for Tayshawn Ghoston, and it was just a little bit overthrown, and the Colts are going to have to punt again.
Ghoston has that capability. We've seen it before. Samaj Green trots out to receive the punt again, as Ethan Alvarez gets on for his second punt of the quarter. $1:32 remaining in the first. High snap, Alvarez recovers, gets it away end over end. It'll go across midfield and take a very unfriendly roll out of bounds. Bowie will get it again near midfield when we come back to the AISD Game of the Week presented by John Wade Roofing.
Pools in Texas need servicing all year long. At Romney Pools, LLC, we provide quality pool services such as cleaning, maintenance, and repairs. So call 469-951-0107 for a free estimate and ask for Roberto. Romney Pools, LLC. We're going to make you fall in love with your pool again. Hablamos español.
Bowers will get the handoff, and he will get met at the 48, but he'll take a defender with him near midfield. And a flag will be thrown very, very late as number 4, Caleb Olabode, is livid that his helmet came off of his head, yelling for the line judge to make a call. And the line judge very wisely calling him back over, telling him he can stay in. The only time you have to come off is if your helmet organically comes off of your head, Pops. If it's because of a penalty, you're allowed to stay in.
So is there a penalty? How did that helmet come off?
There is a flag that was thrown by the head referee near the 44-yard line.
I see it. It's hiding in the white Arlington ISD logo there.
That personal foul call issued against the Volunteers, I believe, may be the first one called against them tonight, and it's a 15-yarder that will set their offense in the wrong direction.
Yeah, they've played a very clean first quarter here up until that particular play, and it could have been an inadvertent type situation, but you always want to be extra careful with a tug on that headgear because it can really lead to some serious damage. We don't want to see anybody in this ball game get hurt. So the Volunteers playing way behind the sticks here. It'll be first and about 25. Second and 25, sorry about that.
4 receivers set, 2 on each side. Clock rolls as we approach a minute to go in the first quarter. Nichols back to pass. Under pressure, steps away from it. Up in the pocket, now takes off and runs. One man to beat. He gets away across midfield. Nichols, the dual threat, in the clear. Shakes away to the 30 and finally wrestled down before he flips the field. You say first down, second down, and 21. He says no problem.
Finally tracked down. What an elusive run there by Nichols. That was a piece of work, but he was finally caught by Troy Daniel in the middle of the field, or Nichols would still be running to this moment.
317 rush yards coming into this game. He picks up at least 30 on that carry there.
How many defenders did he avoid by cutting and moving? That was
at least 5.
That was some great athleticism by Larry Nichols.
This handoff will be for no gain. Arlington's defense read that pretty well. And it'll bring up second down and 10. Maybe a loss of 1, depending on where they spot it. And that will be the end of the first quarter of play. Your score, Bowie 7, Arlington nothing. Stick around, folks. This is going to be a good one. You are watching the AISD Game of the Week on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing.
Hi everybody, Paul Lovato from Jambo's Barbecue at the historic Arlington Steakhouse here on Division Street. If your teenagers make your fridge look like you've never bought groceries, then stop by for a Jambo Texan sandwich or our Sadie loaded potato. The king and queen of barbecue meals will fill your kids up and keep them full long after the game is over. Peace, love, barbecue, and football.
Hey, this is John Wade Jr., Colt Football 97, class of 98. And the next time you have a roofing issue, be sure and call Arlington's favorite roofer, John Wade Roofing. Look us up on the internet at johnwaderoofing.com.
Second quarter about to get underway here at Wilemon Field. Zach Arnold, my pops, Doug on the call. Thank you so much for being a part of tonight's ball game. We appreciate you joining us for what has turned into an historic night for Zach Arnold Productions. 4 receivers set for the Volunteers as they face a second down and 11, and it may be second down and 16 after a potential false start penalty.
Yeah, Bowie's on a good drive here, and you hate to see anything get set back just due to some jitters. It's a nice night here. We're not going to have many problems with any kind of cramping or anything like that. It's a cool fall evening. Finally feels like fall.
Finally feels like fall. I was about to say.
Feels like
I actually have layers on. I have pants on instead of shorts in October. Second down and 16. And that will be an incompletion to bring up third down, but a flag is thrown.
Dion Mays for Arlington made a great play, a bang-bang play, and then he trash-talked the receiver after the deflection, and he's going to get an unsportsmanlike conduct.
So after being behind the sticks because of a penalty will give the Volunteers a fresh set of downs.
Coach Peach using this as a coachable moment for his defensive player. Sends his DB right back out there after a little encouragement. But it is going to be a 15-yard penalty. And the Volunteers will be moving into right on the edge of the red zone.
First and 10. 2 receivers on the right-hand side, a tight end to the left. Nichols and Bowers make up the backfield, and play is stopped. A timeout is not signaled.
Side judge on the home side called the timeout. They didn't move the ball.
No penalty.
Maybe it's just a clock issue.
First and 10. Osunde Brown by himself to the left comes a little bit more in motion. Nichols play action, looking for Osunde Brown on the out route. He's got it, tries to cut up field, gets away from one tackler, and is finally wrestled out of bounds after a pickup of 7.
You know, he's wrestled out of bounds there by Olabode, but number 23 for the Colts, Samaje Davis, missed the tackle. The Volunteers are doing a good job of twisting out of arm tackles, and the Colts are going to need to wrap it up here, Zach, in order to bring some of these Volunteer receivers down.
Early into the second quarter, Bowie's already up by a score, looking for more in the red zone. Two receivers set, 2 tight ends now. 1 on each side. Now the second one comes in motion. 4 on the play clock. They get it. Bowers gets it. He'll bounce it outside, and Akintati says no, sir. Big number 50 brings him down for a stop. It'll be third down and medium.
He read that one all the way. He wasn't fooled by the bunch set on the left side of the Bowie line, and he was able to jump in there and get that running back, get Bowers before he could get anywhere.
The scoreboard shows 3rd and 4. I'm inclined to think it's closer to 3rd and 5. 4 receivers set for Nichols. 10 on the play clock as he makes the change with his O-line. Bowers shifts to his right pocket. Play action, looking left all the way. Across the middle, it's caught. And that'll be a 1st and goal around the 5-yard line. Dylan Talley with the catch on the slant play. One of your favorite plays, Pops.
I do like the slant play across the middle like that, and it worked to perfection that time. A lot of traffic around it, so it was a good pitch and catch there for Trey Nichols to get that pass in there in a tight hole. And then for Talley to haul it in. Good play there by the Volunteer offense.
Another 2 receiver, 2 tight end look for the Vols. Bowers has it up the middle, pushing and shoving, and he is pushed back around the 2-yard line. Who else but Akintati, one of the first ones to make contact, along with number 22, Deacon Lewis, the 6'1 senior, to help make it 2nd and goal.
Yeah, good effort there by the Colt defense to bunch up in the middle and collaborate on that tackle, because Bowers has been hard to bring down tonight.
Second down and goal. They'll keep that same formation. They'll give it to Bowers again. He'll plunge his way to the goal line. Touchdown, Volunteers. It's the Darian Bowers show early in this ball game as he takes it in from 2 yards out. His second of the game and his 12th of the year. Espindola getting set to go again. Somebody flinched and a false start will be called. Kick is on the way and good, but they'll back it up 5 yards and do it again. Pops, it's been several weeks since Arlington trailed by this much. I don't think they were down this badly against South Grand Prairie in the homecoming game. The last time they had a 2-score deficit was against Flower Mound Marcus back in week 2.
Well, and right now the Bowie offensive line is obviously manhandling the Arlington defensive line because they're opening up holes for Bowers. And once he gets through a hole, he's hard to bring down. And the passing from Trey Nichols to Talley. Talley's been a big factor so far in this game tonight. Has really put the Volunteers in a good position to go up these 2 scores here early in this ball game.
So we'll try the extra point again, this time from the 15-yard line. It's a line drive kick, but it is no good. They wave the arm sideways, and it'll stay 13-0 with 9:29 to go until halftime. But Bowie is ahead by 2 scores. Stick around, folks. Still a lot of football left to be played on the AISD Game of the Week on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing. We'll be right back after this. Hey, Arlington residents, are you tired of rising insurance rates? Then it's time to make the switch to Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services, Inc. Since 1984, they've been your trusted local insurance experts offering competitive quotes for all your needs. Auto, homeowners, umbrella, renters, boats, and even classic cars. Why settle for less when you can get the best? Compare coverages today and see how much you can save. Call April or Jason at 817-265-3346. Chapman Cornelius, your local insurance partner since 1984. Welcome back to Wilemon Field. 13-0 your score in favor of the home team. Currently riding a 3-game win streak, all of those against district opponents, including a juggernaut in the form of the Martin Warriors, a 34-24 game at Cravens Field last week, Pops. This is a different type of Bowie team, making moves and making waves, as this one is going to get fielded at the 22 by Burton on the far sidelines. Got a crease. Jamar Burton spinning and moving his way across midfield. That's a spark for that Arlington special teams / offensive unit.
Yeah, just as soon as Burton caught that ball, he moved to his right and found that crease, and he put on that burst of speed that he was able to zip through there and pick up good yardage to set the Colts up with a good starting field position.
You know, they don't show special teams numbers on the Dallas Morning News, but we do have 16 catches for 163 yards and 2 scores, 17 rushes for another 144. He's got 307 offensive yards, and he probably picked up a good 40 or 50 on that return.
Well, and you're talking about special teams, they're kicking it away from Robertson on the special teams kickoff because Robertson's picking up great numbers on special teams returns as well, but that doesn't show on the stats.
2 to the right and 1 to the left here as Arlington starts across midfield. Cravens back to pass, pump fakes, going to go over the top, looking for a receiver, and the flag is not going to be thrown. They're going to say that the pass was over the top of the intended target and uncatchable. Robertson practically got tackled on that far sideline as the Arlington Bluebirds come out. But I think that pass was too far out of bounds to be considered catchable is the problem. Arlington has begun this season with a 5-1 start, which is arguably their best start since they went 10-0 back in 2018. Hoping to continue some of that magic tonight against the Volunteers. 2nd down and 10. Play action. Cravens going to go on the curl route, and it's too high and too fast for Jamar Burton. slips through his fingers as he jumps forward. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, in and out of his hands, but number 5 for the Volunteers, Jeremiah Brinson, was right there to prevent any yards after catch if there had been any. So good job by the Volunteer defense to be closing. Possibly Burton was seeing that closing speed out of the corner of his eye, causing the missed reception.
So it'll be 3rd down now for the Colts. Empty backfield for Cravens. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Bowie only brings 4, drops 7. Going to one-on-one coverage outside, and there was mutual contact down that far sideline. A little bit of back and forth. No flags, and it's 4th down.
And here comes the punter again. Arlington offense just can't seem to get off track tonight. We saw that in the last game against Sam Houston last week, but unfortunately it's extending into the mid-second quarter here this week.
Robertson is the up man, as we have seen as we approach 10 seconds on the play clock, 9 minutes on the game clock. Alvarez back deep. It's a dribbler, and Alvarez is the backup quarterback. He's going to throw it, and it's incomplete, in and out of the hands of Isaiah Robertson. But it looks like there may be a flag down as the officials are coming in towards midfield. No, it'll just be a – is it a turnover on downs?
It's just a turnover on downs. There's no flags on the field.
It's a gutsy play call with Alvarez being the backup QB, but the snap was a little bit low, which caused a lot of chaos all around. While the referees figure all of this out, we'll take a short break and be right back on Zap.
Taquería Taco Express es la taquería oficial de Zach Arnold Productions. Extraordinaria y auténtica comida mexicana, aquí encontrarás el mejor menú para el paladar más exigente. Puedes visitarlos en una de sus 3 sucursales ubicadas en Arlington y en Green Prairie. No te pierdas de su grandioso especial todos los martes, Taco Tuesday, de 5 tacos y un agua fresca por solo $10. Para encontrarnos o hacer un pedido, visítalos a su página web taqueriatacoexpress.com.
8:59 to go until halftime on the AISD Game of the Week. It's a keeper for Trey Nichols on the zone read. He's got some space. Nichols with one man to beat. Down the sideline. One play. One touchdown for the Volunteers.
One side with jubilation, the other side of the ball field stunned.
Arlington with 2 turnovers on downs and 2 punts. And so far, out of Bowie's 4 possessions, 3 of them have gone for touchdowns.
I thought they might go for 2 on this one, but they're going to kick the point after touchdown.
It is up, and it is true. 8:47 to go until the break. Your new score, Bowie 20, Arlington 0. This is the AISD Game of the Week on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing. Thanks so much for tuning in to tonight's broadcast. We'll be right back. Local Legends Figures immortalizes your athlete's achievements for a lifetime. Featuring 6-inch figures with poses in football, baseball, band, hockey, even lacrosse. Local Legends makes every effort to show their likeness down to every possible uniform detail. To order your custom figure, call 817-681-0393 or email orders@locallegendsfigures.com. Early into the second quarter, and Mom made an interesting note during the break, Pops. Bowie's offensive line is managing the point of attack due to their physical nature. They are just bigger young men for the most part outside of Akintati. And Arlington's front 7 is having a hard time containing the 2-headed monster that is Trey Nichols and Darian Bowers.
Yeah, it was a great burst of speed there by Trey Nichols on that run off the right side. And Arlington's defense just could not catch him. He broke through the defensive line so fast and got into the secondary that there was no catching him.
Going in the direction of Burton again on the kickoff. He fields it inside the 20, looking for a crease, takes it down the far sideline. He's across the 40, stays on his feet, and a flag comes in at the 45-yard line from the side judge. This could be in the area of face mask. We'll have to wait and see.
Arlington High has had good field position tonight. They're not starting like at their own 20 at all. They've started close to midfield, and they just can't get anything going offensively so far.
Haven't been able to hit Robertson. Atokity had some creases on the first possession, but aside from that, not much doing. This is a face mask against the Volunteers, so Burton will get it to the 45, and that 15 will put it all the way at the Bowie 40-yard line. If there was ever a possession when Arlington needed to take advantage of this field position, it is right here and right now.
Yeah, this is a good starting point for this offensive drive, and they've got to put some plays together to put this one in the end zone if they have any hope of keeping pace with the Volunteers tonight.
This is Robertson, I believe, directing traffic and falling forward for a couple yards. We'll give him 2 on the play, down to the 38. You know, if the traditional quarterback formation isn't doing much for you, why not go to the Maverick and see if your playmaker can make a play?
Tokeny coming out on this play. Robertson staying in the backfield as Coleman Cravens goes far out to the left side in the wide receiver position.
Cade Story, the tight end, to the left. 2 receivers on the right-hand side. Burton is the slot to the left, so this should be Gosen and Donaldson on the right. Man in motion. Robertson bobbled it, and he's just barely able to recover it. He'll lose a yard maybe. That was a very fast snap as Trayvon Ellis ran past and almost collided with the snap while he was in motion.
Well, you could see on the live camera that snap was high and to Robertson's right, and he really, and it was like you said, it was a very fast snap, and he had to really react quickly in order to even catch that thing.
Donna Nipper, been with us for years now, tuning in to our ZapView product. This is awesome, being able to watch this game all the way from Mississippi. Thanks so much for being a loyal contributor to our program. Back to passes. Cravens under pressure. Smacked at the 45 and dropped. A huge hit applied by Brian Kern, the senior defensive end. And Arlington will have to punt it. After having it at the 40, they got pushed back 7 yards.
The Volunteer defense brought everybody and the kitchen sink on that play, and the Arlington offensive line was overwhelmed. They could not stop the number of players Bowie was sending, and Cravens had to eat that. It was a pass play all the way, and he had no time in the pocket.
Alvarez with a traditional punt this time. And it'll take a friendly Arlington roll and bounce out of bounds inside the 20. We'll have to see if Arlington's defense can get the stop. 6.5 to go until the half. This is the AISD Game of the Week on Zach. Tonight's game is brought to you in part by Pecan Park Dental, where Dr. Stephanie Bangs and her team specialize in caring for the whole family. From routine checkups and cosmetic dentistry to dental implants and treating sleep apnea, they make dental care easy and convenient for busy parents. Located right here in Arlington, Pecan Park Dental is ready to keep your family smiling. (20-0) your score. Bowie back at it again. Bowers with the carry, and he'll get dropped behind the line. One of the few times that has happened this evening. Good closing speed by the Colt defense.
Barrientos in the backfield very quickly on that play, number 18 for the Colts, and that will put the Volunteers behind the sticks for second down play.
Son of a varsity assistant, longtime coach.
I ran into Coach Womack at the hardware store this week.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, nice little howdy there at the
Westlake
Arlington Hardware.
Not sponsored.
No.
2 to the left, 2 to the right, rather. Nichols keeps it himself, and how did he get free? It looked like he lost a shoe, maybe. And he still gets to the 40. What a pickup by the quarterback. There were 4 Colts nearby him, and he just stepped up and away from it. Unreal athleticism by number 7. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. High snap, play action. Nichols underneath, caught. Gets away from 1 tackler, gets away from 2 tacklers. Down the sidelines, 1 man to beat. Stutter step, getting away to the end zone. Number 8, Dylan Talley, touchdown, Bowie.
Coach Hensley just lowers his head and shakes it as he walks up the sideline.
An inability to wrap up your man at the line of scrimmage. And number 8 makes him pay for it with yards after the catch and extends the Bowie lead. This is not the score we expected coming into this ball game, Pops.
No, this clash of the Titans is turning into a serious swatting.
Low snap on the extra point attempt, but the recovery and the extra point is good. Your new score with 5:21 to go until the break. Bowie 27, Arlington 0. We'll be right back with more AISD football after this short break. John Wade Roofing has been serving the Arlington area since 1982, but the Wade legacy runs much deeper in the city of Arlington. A pioneer family that has had roots going back decades, John Wade and Company saw relatives attend the Cooper Street Arlington High campus and has had members play in Colt athletics for decades. And they're looking forward to serving this community for decades to come. Find out more at johnwaderoofing.com. Welcome back to Wilemon. This is not the only rivalry game taking place tonight, Pops. The Gopher Warrior Bowl is being fought over in the next town over. South Grand Prairie against Grand Prairie. And then we've got some other important district games and a couple of non-district games that we're keeping tabs on over the course of this evening.
Yeah, we know that Lamar and Sam Houston are playing each other tonight, and Martin is taking on the Halton Buffaloes as well. So we'll be keeping an eye on those. Stay tuned for the Taco Express halftime show, and we'll be giving you the updates as we get them.
Kickoff is away from number 45 again, so Burton with the brunt of the kick return duties. He'll take it to about the 30, but he's wrapped up by the first man that meets him, pushing and shoving along that Bowie sidelines. And it is a very brief skirmish, as there are probably some hurt feelings about what's going on the football field. 5:14 to go until the break. Arlington needs some kind of positive response before they head to the locker room, Pops. They got the ball to start the game, so you don't want to go 3 and out and give Bowie a chance for a 2-for-1.
Yeah, I'm sure the Arlington players are just as stunned as everybody else in the stadium right now, and they're wondering what it's going to take to turn this thing around. Not as good a starting field position as they have had earlier in the game.
4 receivers set, 3 on the bottom. Craven's back to pass. It's going to be a wide receiver tunnel screen. It's caught and no gain as Tayshawn Ghoston makes the catch. But he caught it behind the line and then was able to fall forward back to the 30 where they started.
Well, and he was brought down immediately. It looked like he had some room in that tunnel screen, but Elijah Atwood filled it up and brought him down, and he's actually like the length of a football loss on that play. Good play by Atwood.
Arlington's offense going with a 4-receiver look, trying to spread this defense out. Cravens underneath. Burton on the swing pass. He's got 5, and then he gets shouldered as he's escorted out of bounds. Big but legal hit applied as it brings up 3rd and short.
Campbell on the tackle for that play for the Volunteers.
That may have been number 3, Ghoston. My apologies. 2s and 3s when their shirts are scrunched up from this distance can be a little confusing at times.
Well, you remember our days when we used to be on the sidelines with one of the football teams here in town. The players intentionally roll those jerseys up and scrunch them up, and it does make it hard to see the numbers. Back in those days, it wasn't a big deal, but now that we're broadcasting, it's kind of hard to see sometimes.
2 receivers, 2 tight ends, and nothing doing as Arlington's offensive line proving completely ineffective, bringing up another 4th down. And what did I just say, Pops?
Number 16, Chivley on the play there, leading the charge.
You don't want to go 3 and out.
No, but the Bowie defense is overwhelming the Arlington offensive line. They cannot handle it. They're coming fast, and they're coming in waves. There's a bunch of them.
Samaj Green back to receive the punt. Alvarez puts a man in motion. It's a good end-over-end boot. Green will leave it be as it bounces around the 30-yard line, and that's where it will get down with about 3.5 minutes to go until the break. Stick around. We still got a little more football before halftime here on ZAP, presented by John Wade Roofing.
Las albercas en Texas necesitan servicios durante todo el año. Romy Pools brinda servicios de calidad, incluyendo limpieza, mantenimiento y reparaciones. Llama al número 469-951-0107 para una consulta gratuita y pregunta por Roberto. Romy Pools, haremos que te enamores de tu alberca de nuevo.
3:36 to go until the break. Zach Arnold, my pops Doug on the call. Jot Holly on the camera. Mom, the voice, the producer tonight. As this run is taken from the 30 to the 35-yard line. That's about, well, just a couple of yards shy of what Bowers usually averages. He averages about 7. He'll pick up 5 there. Vakauta in on the tackle for Arlington.
Bring up second down at about 5 here.
They bring the pressure, but not in the right place as Bowers is breaking free and was one stretch of the jersey away from breaking it big, but he will get the first down to the 48.
Another example, as you can see on the Zap View camera of the field, the Bowie offensive line is absolutely dominating tonight. They are playing a good ball game because the Arlington defensive line is having no effect.
This is a wobbler snap that gets away from Nichols, and he loses it. It's still free. Arlington picks it up down the sidelines. There is Arlington's first touchdown of the game on a turnover of all things. Number 12, Luis Mendoza puts the Colts on the board.
Good heads-up play by Mendoza there as the Colts finally get a spark of enthusiasm. You can see the celebration on the visitor sideline. Heads-up play there, and Colts finally get on the board tonight.
A mishap on a snap of all things, but you will take it where you can get it. Atokity didn't realize that he was supposed to come in for this special teams play. The belt is hoisted to the Colt faithful as they celebrate the first thing worth celebrating tonight. Extra point by Brezel is true, and your new score with 2:43 to the break. Bowie 27, Arlington 7. We'll be back with more Arlington ISD football right after this. This broadcast is the intellectual property of Zach Arnold Productions. Any use of their multimedia, including audio, video, images, and other content, may not be repurposed without prior express consent of Zach Arnold Productions. We thank you for your cooperation and for tuning in to tonight's broadcast. .243 to go until halftime here at Wilemon, and Pops, there's a little bit of energy on this visitor sideline now after Luis Mendoza gets the defensive score.
Well, the Colts needed something to give them a shot of encouragement. They've still got a tough road to hoe here at Wilemon Field, as they've got an uphill climb with being behind 27-7 and 2:43 left in the first half. But it does give them something to build on as they go into halftime. Hopefully the defense can hold and get some encouraging news on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, the defense just got a big stop and a big score. We'll see what this interesting kickoff formation is. They're going to send it in that direction. It'll get fielded at the 11. This is Samaj Green, a former Arlington Colt, bouncing off of the first defender and pushing his way to the 32-yard line. Green was an Arlington Colt, transferred to Dallas Kimball for a year, and now comes back to his hometown of Arlington as Bowie gets ready for their next possession. Pops, what does this defense need to do? They still have all 3 timeouts do you try to get a stop here and get the ball back and get a little more momentum before the break?
Oh, sure, you want the stop, but you've got to figure on what have they been preparing for this week. You've got to know they had to be focusing on the running back, Darian Bowers. They had to be keying on Trey Nichols, but it just, whatever game plan they have in play tonight just isn't effective right now. That ball got away from Nichols on that last drive, and it's like a greased pig back there. Poor Nichols couldn't get a hold of it. Good defensive stop there by the Colts as Akintati gets in there in the middle of that one with number 61 for the Colts, Jack Phillips. And looks like Coach Peach is going to try and save some of that time on the clock, take a timeout here and try to get the ball back.
So we will take a brief timeout with them. 2:22 to go until halftime here at Wilemon Field. Stick around for more AISD football right after this.
Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to hear Zach talk about things beyond the realm of sport, catch him with me, Ben Hart, on the Intergalactic Peace Coalition podcast. For nearly a decade, we've been geeking out on IPC about our favorite nerdy things. We have a back catalog of over 350 episodes diving into sci-fi and fantasy stories like no one else. Find the Intergalactic Peace Coalition at ipcpodcast.podbean.com or download via your favorite podcast app.
So 2 timeouts remaining for Arlington as Bowie getting ready to break the huddle on a 2nd down and 10. Coach Peach utilizing those timeouts and trying to give his team one more possession before the break. If you can make it 27-14, that's a 2-possession ball game. That's a lot more manageable than a 3-possession game.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you can't take those timeouts with you, so you might as well use them and try and get a stop here from your defense as they just did from Akintati.
Big number 50 doing everything he can to keep the Colts in it. 3 receivers to the left-hand side with the ball right down the middle. New play call comes in as Nichols relays it. Bowers moves to his right hip. Blitz is shown and pulled back. One-on-one coverage, going deep, coming back and making a leaping grab. What a catch. And moving the sticks is number 8, Dylan Talley.
That was a great catch. It was just slightly underthrown, and Talley did a really good job of coming back and helping his quarterback on that play. We see that quite often. And good pitch and catch there, and good heads up by Talley.
Speaking of heads up, got to keep his eye on the football as he hands it off. Bowers sneaking his way inside the 40 to the 35-yard line. Give him 6 on the play as we approach 2 minutes to go until halftime.
Samaji Davis finally brought him down on that play, but not before Bowers was able to slip by another tackler. There's just a lot of missed tackles by the defense tonight. Can't tell whether it's missed tackles or just great offense.
Probably a little of both. 3 receiver set, 2 of them to the left, H-back to the right. Play action, going out, and oh my goodness, Arlington's defense read that one. Almost cutting underneath was Dion Mays. If he's able to get a hold of that,
a lot of green.
There was a lot of greenery for him there.
Yep, number 8 on that play, and Mays read it. Quarterback was looking all the way to that right side.
So it'll bring up 3rd down and 4. They're probably outside of field goal range. Clock stops with 1:39. Triangle to the right. Nichols looking that direction, steps up, under pressure now, trying to get away. He'll throw it downfield, got a man, and it's caught! Number 3, Antonio Burdo, the senior, with another Bowie touchdown.
Number 90, Cam Gray, and number 50, Akintati were chasing Trey Nichols around in the backfield, and he made a great throw under pressure. And number 23 for Arlington, Samaji Davis, fell on the coverage, and that opened up the receiver.
Hits him in stride.
Turf monster grabbed Davis on that one.
I don't know if Burdo even had a touchdown catch on the season, according to DMN. Extra point is true, and with $1:28 to go until the break, Bowie gets those 7 points right back. Your new score is the Volunteers 34 and the Colts 7. We'll be right back after this. PDA Advocacy Group would like to remind you that autism is a wide spectrum of neurological differences, and it's on the rise, now affecting 1 in 36 Americans and more cases found in males. Those with autism have trouble with social interactions, communication, and can engage in repetitive or self-harming behaviors. While the causes of autism are still being researched, we can begin to learn more by visiting nationalautismassociation.org. I want to give a special shout out to my lovely wife and my in-laws. I just got a picture showing that they are tuning into tonight's broadcast on their big TV.
TV?
Los amos mucho. Thank you all so much for your support. My wife has seen me go through a lot of late nights to make sure that all of this is ready to go, especially last night up till 1 a.m. in preparation.
They have flipped Burton and Robertson on their field position.
Let's see if they flip which direction they kick it to. They do indeed.
They know.
Burton will get it on the near sideline now. We'll see if he can get a couple of blockers. He'll cut back. He's got a little bit of greenery if he can kick it into the next gear. Tries to turn the corner and cannot. Like a cow at the rodeo, he gets roped down and a flag comes in near midfield. Very possibly an unsportsmanlike conduct. The young man who got the touchdown, Burdow, in on the coverage. However, number 20, Marcus Green, may have participated in some extracurriculars that could cost them some field position. We'll see who the call is against.
You know, Zach, I wonder if the Colts have some scripted plays for these 1-minute drives. We saw a minute and a half, 2-minute drive. Oh, this is going to go against the Colts. We saw a quick drive like that at Weatherford when we were in the western part of the county. We'll see if they can do it here again to close out the first half.
They'll be playing from even worse field position than they originally had. I really thought that it was number 20, Green, for Bowie. I apologize, young man. It was whoever committed the egregious against you. I did not see who was guilty of that infraction, but it will move Arlington all the way back to the 20-yard line with a minute 18 to go until we go to the locker rooms.
Worst field position of the night.
This is a catch, very tightly contested. Making the grab is Trayvon Ellis, the senior, but he had somebody right on his shoulder blade.
He had number 5, Jeremiah Brinson, right in his grill. Brinson making a good play for the ball, but even better play by the Arlington receiver.
Clock continues to roll. Exactly 1 minute to go until halftime. Arlington finally sets formation with a 4-receiver set, 2 to the left and 2 to the right. Cravens with the shotgun. Pocket holds, delivers. That's a catch at the 40. Robertson turns upfield and gets out of bounds. First down for the Colts.
Better job by the Colt offensive line there, giving Cravens some time to pass on that play. And even good presence of mind by Robertson to get out of bounds and stop the clock.
Ball moves to the 43 with 48 seconds. Arlington does have 2 timeouts remaining, so they have the entire field to work with. 4 receivers again. Cravens looking right, throwing right, towards double coverage. Coming back to it is the receiver. That's ghosted with the catch, but he was going backwards when he went out of bounds. That makes the clock continue to roll and will force Coach Peach to take a timeout. They cross midfield, but with 39 seconds left, they have 1 timeout left to work with. 34-7. Pops, I believe, aside from the fumble that was returned for a touchdown and a single punt, Bowie has not had an empty possession all night.
No, they've been playing very well on both sides of the ball, obviously. They've been able to drive the ball on offense, and they've been able to dominate the Arlington line of scrimmage on their defensive plays. And so Bowie's just clicking on all cylinders right now. We know we have a lot of fans watching as we hear the great Yadi Pagan give a shout out to our production here tonight. We're very excited to be able to be bringing this historic presentation live on video tonight on YouTube. Grateful to the Arlington ISD Athletic Administration.
Yes, very much so. This is a long time in the process of being made. We started with just a little laptop and a single mixer, a single headset, and a dream. And the dream comes true tonight. Swing pass, Atokady with it, trying to get to the outside, forced to stay in bounds, and he will barely get the line to gain. And it does not look like They will stop the clock, maybe momentarily to move the chains. So Arlington rushing to the line with the clock still rolling. I don't know what's happening here.
Peach had another timeout.
He's asking why it didn't stop. I think it should have, and it continued to roll. It's still rolling, so they will have to reset this game clock. To what number, I do not know.
If you can see Coach Peach on the sideline, we refer to that as his Coach Peach, his arms held wide stance. It's a reference to Star Trek and the Picard and Timba, his arms held wide reference.
Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra.
They are gonna change the clock. Referee signaling the booth on the western side of the Wilemon Field here.
Ball rests at the Bowie 47-yard line. Arlington with one timeout to go until the break.
Oh, there we go. 10 minutes. That's great.
Yes, we would love a 10-minute drive.
The staff on the west side of the stands is having trouble with the clock.
I believe it's 10 seconds is what they're trying to set it at.
Yeah, we're down to a minute now. Referee, and we're 60 seconds. The fans are giving some assistance to the referees here. 19 seconds. There we go. We're going to settle on 19 seconds.
3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Clock will roll on the ready for play. And here we go. Cravens, man in motion, looking to pass, under pressure, steps up, hit, and will get dropped at the 46. And now it's just Hail Mary time. As Arlington not able to get into field goal range, they're
just going to let the clock run
out. They will take off the headset. That is the first half, folks. A defensive play and a sack
by Elijah Atwood.
Cravens.
Let's give a shout out to Elijah Atwood for the volunteers on that sack.
Let's give a shout out to the entire volunteer team dominating this first half. No other bones about it.
The Colts are dragging. The Colts are just dragging across the field towards the field house. It's been a tough half of football here, folks, for one side.
But a great set for another. Thank you so much for tuning in to AISD Football on Zap. We do have a couple of presentations that we will show you throughout the course of the halftime. And then we will have the halftime show presented by our friends at Taqueria Taco Express. With thoughts and analysis on this first half, hopefully some stats from the Dallas Morning News, some scores from around the area, and so much more. We'll be back after this. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Coach, offense may be flashy, but the saying is that defense wins championships. What would you say you were most excited for about the defensive side of the ball at Bowie?
The fact that the growth of our defense. We have 7 new starters that'll be playing on that side of the ball, so it's going to be the young part of our team, and I think the growth of our team success, is going to be how quickly can those guys not only offensively, getting better week by week and growing, but if we can grow on the defense side of the ball to the point to where, we can get the adequate stops that we need and those different types of things, and get turnovers. I think the sky really becomes the limit because although we're young, we're talented on that side of the ball, and I like our group. It's just a young group, and it's a lot of slowing down and teaching that happens. But watching them in the watching them in the spring, fall camp, and inter squad, and then watching them against Richardson, I've just seen that group continuously grow throughout this fall camp.
Who have you seen the most growth in, and who do you feel like you're going to be leaning on out of those returners? Because you mentioned it's 7 out of 11, so you got 4 returners. So out of those 7, who's grown the most, and out of those 4, who are you going to be leaning on?
I would say the person I've seen the most growth out of is probably our nickel safety, Isaac Rodriguez and Elijah Atwood. There are 2 guys that they were safeties, and we had, after the spring ball, we had a need at the nickel safety position in our 4-2-5 defense, and we took both of those guys. They're rotating that safety some, those things, but just seeing that, how they just embrace the position and they're playing it at the level that they're playing it at, and how quickly they picked it up. Seeing those guys grow in that position. I've also seen a lot of growth in one of our defensive ends in Arjuwan Chibley, who was a tight end last year. Obviously, we moved him over to the defense side of the ball. And, just seeing him starting to catch on to the schemes and those different types of things. But defensively, it really starts with, the 4 returners are our 4 leaders as well. And Okello, Jeremiah, D lineman, Okello, linebacker, Jeremiah Brinson, linebacker Galatians Paya-Gofia, and safety Kevin Baines. Those 4 guys have actually played in varsity games last year.
Right. So,
Brinson Paya-Gofia and Okello played in all 11 games last year. So, they do a lot of talking to the guys on the sideline, trying to coach them up and those different types of things. And I think that's kind of contributed to the growth of our defense too, because, it's nothing for those guys to pull guys to the side, try to help them out.
Some defenses can be risk takers. Some schemes are just trying to keep things in front of them. Others are seeking turnover opportunities. What type of philosophy do you want your team to have this year defensively?
Defensively, I think in today's football, very gone are the days are you can just hold people to 7 points or 14 points, because offenses have gotten really good. What you really want, the best defenses are good at 2 things. They bend but don't break, and they create turnovers. And I think those are now there's a myriad of ways of doing that, but that's basically what our defense is in a nutshell. We may give up some yardage, but we're not going to give up touchdowns, and we're going to create turnovers either through balls in the air. It's our right to go get it just as much as it's the offensive right.
Right.
And, when we're tackling, we're trying to get the ball out. You want to read your keys, but when it's time to make plays, it's all about the ball. And so, we preach that to our defense of, we want you to do your job, but once you've done your job, it's time to play football and get the ball. And so that's kind of what our philosophy been on defense is: bend but don't break, but we're going to create turnovers and score on defense as well.
Let's take a look at the defensive senior class and then the senior class as a whole. What kind of leadership expectations do you have from your seniors to not only carry this team to the postseason, but also make a deep run, which is a goal you've got for your team?
I think one of those deals is with this senior class, like I told them at the beginning of fall camp, we've maintained the standard of making the playoffs the last 2 years. Now let's elevate that standard. Figure out how to elevate that standard and put Bowie back on the map, where at Kenny Perry, they're playing 3 and 4 rounds deep. And it was, they were the team to watch in the playoffs, where all of Arlington would come watch Bowie play. Mm-hmm. And, I want that for this group. I want that for this program, where, everybody takes pride in the Bowie Volunteers. And, we not only represent our southeast sector of Arlington, but I want us to represent all of Arlington.
Mm-hmm. Well, looking at the city of Arlington, but also the Bowie faithful, do you have any messages you want to give to them about this 2024 season? Parents, alumni, local businesses, passersby, reporters, whoever may be keeping up with Bowie this year, what's the message for them?
The biggest message is, come out and support your Bowie Volunteers. We'd love to see you guys. We're open door policy as a program. Definitely need your support. Not only, supporting in the games, but, any little bit that, anybody that may want to contribute to our program and our booster club when it comes to just helping these kids out and giving them the best experiences possible. One of the things that wasn't a deal was, something as simple as giving kids catered meals before every game day or something like that. Mm-hmm. So, alumni, friends, family, businesses, just come out and support your Bowie Volunteers in any way that you can, and I definitely appreciate all the support because it's going to make us better. It's going to make us work harder. And as the head coach here, it's definitely going to make sure I put the best product I possibly can on the field.
Best product possible on the field, and we're going to be providing the best product possible on the sound waves. Be sure to tune into all Bowie home games on YouTube, and any postseason run that the team makes home or away, we'll be covering that as well. Coach Sam, thanks again so much for your time today, and good luck in the 2024 season.
I appreciate you.
Some days you're the windshield.
Sometimes you're the bug.
Some days you're the fly. Right now, the windshield is the powerhouse that is the Bowie Volunteers, and Arlington has become victim of the fly role here tonight. Score of 34-7 as we bring you into the halftime show presented by Taqueria Taco Express. Zach Arnold, my pops Doug, on the call for what was supposed to be listed as the Arlington ISD Game of the Week and has turned into a bit of a beatdown when you take a look at the scoreboard and the stats.
Well, we talked a lot at pregame about this being a clash of the Titans, and it's really been David and Goliath. I mean, it's been one-sided so far, and it's all the Bowie Volunteers tonight. They are really showing out well.
And it's not one particular element of the game either. Aside from a couple of big kickoff returns, the defense has been solid, the offense has been solid, and the only points that Arlington has put on came from a high snap that got away from Trey Nichols, and a part of the Arlington defense, Luis Mendoza, was in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. I mean, there have been some plays like that last touchdown for Bowie. The defender slipped on the turf and left the wide receiver wide open on that pass play. So there was, but it was still a good pitch and catch because Nichols was running in the backfield and running away from several Arlington potential tacklers, and so it was still a great play by Trey Nichols.
It was, and as I mentioned during the pregame, as Nichols goes, so too goes the Bowie offense. He's 8 of 13 for 141 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. And then he's also leading the team in rushing, 4 carries for 136 yards.
Yeah.
And another score.
And how many offensive yards does Arlington have based on the DMN stats that we looked up?
Based on Dallas Morning News, Arlington has amassed just 61 yards of offense.
Goodness gracious.
And you know, when you have it at the 40-yard line on the other side and you end up getting pushed back to the 47, that's a testament to the defense.
Yes.
Bowie's defense was able to corral and contain, and there's been almost no productivity at the line of scrimmage. With the sacks that they've gotten of Cravens, you know, it doesn't matter that Atokady has 2 rushing yards.
Right.
2 net rush yards and 1 net rush yard for Isaiah Robertson, -4 rush yards for Cravens, for a grand total of -1 rush yard.
That's the stat I was looking for.
-1.
So you got to give a shout out to defensive coordinator Shane Ferguson for the Volunteers, because he has this week. We talked about how great Colby Hensley has done in the last several games. Ferguson has really put together a fantastic defensive game plan tonight, because the Bowie defense is really dominating this Arlington offense tonight.
Yeah, there's no bones about it. I mean, Coleman Cravens is doing everything he can. He's 9 of 15 on the evening for 62 yards, but no touchdowns and no interceptions. There's been a few near misses too. You know, you get the ball in plus territory and you go deep towards Robertson. He can't complete it. Right. You have the fake punt where Robertson was open over the middle and he drops it.
Yeah.
And I'm not pointing fingers.
Very uncharacteristic.
It's uncharacteristic. I'm not pointing fingers at 45 by any stretch of the imagination, but he's got 1 rushing yard and he has 21 receiving yards. So it's 22 yards of offense for Robertson in the first half. And the way Arlington's offense goes, that is simply not enough.
Well, and Arlington tried to adjust mid-game by, in one of those series, that is like the 3rd or 4th series of the ball game, they brought in Robertson straight up for the whole series, and they went 3 and out with him at the Wild Maverick position, running the offense.
They did.
And it didn't prove to be effective. So Arlington's trying to monitor and adjust, as we say in the classroom, and the monitoring and the adjusting didn't work in the first half. So, you know, we've been with this Arlington team for years. We know that they traditionally make some good halftime adjustments. That'll have to be proven true tonight. We'll see. But Bowie gets the ball first coming out here.
They do.
In the second half. And so we'll have to see how the defensive adjustments go for the defense for Arlington tonight. But right now it's all Bowie.
34-7 the score. We'll send it back to Jot Holly on camera 1 while Pops give us some scores from around the district.
Yeah, we have some interesting scores tonight over in Grand Prairie. The war between South Grand Prairie and Grand Prairie at the half. Grand Prairie's up 29. No, got it backwards. South Grand Prairie is up 29-13 at the half. Sam Houston is over at Lamar, and it's Lamar 7, Sam Houston 3 at the half. Very low-scoring game there. And this is the one that surprised us. Haltom at Martin They're playing at Choctaw tonight, from what we understand. Tied at the half, 35-35. Interesting score.
That is a slugfest of offense, and we know from the game that Jot Holly and Tim Costello called of Arlington at Haltom, they really, really like to run the ball, which means Martin can't stop the ground attack.
Two other scores that were interesting. Argyle 21, Mansfield Summit 6 at the half. And this one was interesting. Coppell 13, Louisville 14 at the halftime.
Those are two teams undefeated in their respective districts, and they are having themselves a bit of a slugfest as they try to figure out who the top seed will be over in 5-6A. Arlington received to start the ball game, so Bowie will receive to start the second half. The halftime show is presented by Taqueria Taco Express. They feature a wide, authentic Mexican food menu across the entire city of Arlington, with a new 4th location opening at Little and 287 this fall. Taking advantage of their Taco Tuesday deal has never been easier. Get 5 tacos and an agua fresca for just $10. Or you can visit on Mondays for the new Quesadilla Birria, only $9.99. Whatever Mexican food you're craving, Taqueria Taco Express has you covered. Place orders online to collect points that you can redeem for free food. You can find their 4 locations and place orders online at taqueriatacoexpress.com.
Are they open late at night?
I think they're open till 10, I want to say.
I'm craving the tacos.
If you want late night tacos, I have other places I can recommend, but I'm not going to let it overlap with our halftime sponsors.
No.
We'll talk about our late night cravings the later into the night we get.
Taqueria Taco Express commercial is a oh man, it makes yo tengo hambre. Ready for some tacos.
I love that we have bilingual commercials, thanks to my lovely wife being able to talk about Romy Pools in Spanish and Taqueria Taco Express in Spanish. Trying to reach the entire Arlington community as we get ready to resume action here at Wilemon Field. 34-7 your score. The Arlington defense hoping to get a stop, but if you're Bowie, I would definitely be impressed. I was about to say I would be surprised, but what's the opposite of surprised? I would be expectant of them to make a deep attempt and see if they can put their foot on the gas to start this second half. Bresl's kick is deep and away and is fielded at the 5-yard line, taken up the far sideline and wrapped down at the 16. Almost nothing gained. A fair catch would have brought it to the 25. This will be Bowie's worst field position of the ball game.
Good downfield tackle by special teams member Hayden White, number 24 for the Colts. And that kind of puts, if I'm not mistaken, that's Bowie's going to be their worst starting field position of the evening.
It is absolutely their worst field position. So we'll see if Arlington can take advantage of that as the second half gets underway. Folks, please copy the link and hit that share button to your group chat, to your social media. Let them know that we are back to live action here at Wilemon Field between the Colts and the Volunteers. This is the Arlington ISD Game of the Week on ZAP, presented by John Wade Roofing, Arlington's favorite roofer since 1982. It's a pistol look for Nichols, the first time we've seen the pistol tonight. Bowers will get it and power his way across the 15 close to the 20 for a marginal pickup on first down.
Got a player down on the far side of the field over there, right on the 20-yard line marker, so we're going to take a little time here to attend to him.
While they take a look at him, we'll take a look at one of our partners and be right back with more football here at Wilemon Field. Thanks for tuning in. John Wade Roofing is celebrating 40 years serving the Arlington area. John Sr. played for Colt football and was the team MVP in '76. He went on to play for TCU, earning all conference honors. The family has a Colt legacy that spans generations and wants to help your family's roofing needs, plus gutters, painting, solar, and more. For more information, go to johnwaderoofing.com. Number 44, Hayden Bostic, helped up by the Arlington training staff and wobbling under his own power back to the visiting sideline on the East Grandstands here in East Arlington.
Colt defense looking to get a stop here on this opening drive from Bowie, but so far, based on history of the game, Bowie's been pretty unstoppable tonight on offense.
We'll see if that trend continues as Bostic finally makes his way to the sidelines. We'll try to keep an eye on him here on this sideline that's closer to our vantage point. Clock rolls, ready for play. Nichols with the high snap, hands it off. Bowers up the middle, and he'll get stopped for no gain.
Good play again by the Colts defense. Number 4, Caleb Olabode in the backfield on that tackle as the Volunteers lose a little bit of yardage. Bring up 3rd down and long here for the Volunteers.
We'll call it 7. Scoreboard says 8. We'll call it 8. First possession of the second half. It'll be an empty backfield for Nichols. 3 receivers to the right and 2 to the left. Now Bowers coming in motion out of the slot.
A lot of confusion in the Arlington defense.
Back to pass, under pressure, steps away from 1, steps away from 2. Phillips chasing, and it will be caught on the far sideline across the 30, across the 35, still on his feet across the 40, across midfield, and what was going to be a sack, Zion Shelley turned into an amazing play, but there is a penalty marker back near the 25.
You would think with all the scrambling, there may have been a hold on the play. We'll
Either
have to
a
wait
hold
and see.
or an ineligible downfield. That is what it is. Somebody on the offensive line got too far downfield. So Shelley's big catch is negated, and Arlington can breathe a sigh of relief.
But what an athletic play by Trey Nichols on that play again. Being chased by 2 big defensive linemen and being able to connect with his receiver nonetheless. So that'll back the Volunteers up and make it a 3rd down and 13. Colt faithful rising to their feet, some of them clapping, encouraging the defense to get a stop here.
3rd down and long. If they can force a punt, they'll get good field position, but so far that hasn't mattered much tonight.
Not so far.
Trips to the left, 1 to the right. Bowers to the right of Nichols. Looking to pass to that right side. Steps up, throwing deep. Got a man coming back to it.
It was a bit of a wobbler, Zach, as Cam Gray was in the face, in the grill of Trey Nichols on that play.
Deion Mays in the coverage of Dylan Talley, 8 versus 8, and this time it's the white jersey, number 8, that gets the stop. And Bowie will have to punt it away.
Isaiah Robertson trotting out there for the Colts, and he's going to be right about the Volunteer 45.
If I'm Arlington, I'm bringing the heat on this one. The punter is on the goal line. Bit of a high snap. They do bring pressure, can't get to it. End over end bouncer at the 40. Robertson will take it and fall forward to the 41, and that's where Arlington's first possession of the 3rd will be. 10-12 here in the quarter. We'll be right back with more AISD football on Zap. Pecan Park Dental is proud to support local high school sports. If you're losing sleep because your husband sounds like a freight train at night, it's time to check for sleep apnea. Dr. Stephanie Bangs and her team offer solutions to help everyone in the family rest easy, especially before game day. Come to Pecan Park Dental, where even snorers can find peace, and so can you. 10 minutes and 12 seconds to go here in the 3rd quarter. Zach Arnold, my pops Doug, bringing you the AISD Game of the Week. So far, it's been all Bowie as the Colts come out in plus territory. Swing pass to Burton, bounces in front of his feet, and it will fall incomplete. Craven's back out there with the Tokedy. Cade Story, the tight end. Robertson, Ghoston, and Burton, the receivers. Nobody on the left-hand side except for Story at the tight end. They're bringing in an extra blocker, Pops, putting Big 41 there to try to help protect Coleman Cravens. All 3 receivers in the gun. Going deep to one-on-one coverage. Incomplete, says the official. The safety did move over to help, but Jamar Burton got his hands on it and could not complete the catch.
And for the Volunteers, number 2, Johnny Macon was covering Burton like a blanket on that play.
Story will come off to bring on an extra receiver. 10:01 in the third down and 10. Extra receiver is the middle slot man, Trayvon Ellis. Near slot is Burton. Robertson wide to the left, Ghostin wide to the right, Atokity to the left side of Cravens. He'll take it, stepping up, across the middle, it's caught! Robertson with the first down grab at the 30.
Just enough time in the pocket for Cravens on that play. Good job by the Arlington offensive line, and an even better route run there by Robertson.
A big third down conversion, something Arlington lacked in the first half. Hopefully it gives them a little bit of a spark as they move deeper into Bowie Vol territory. Doubles on each side, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Atokity in motion. They're going across the middle, and it is caught inside the 20. A nice grab there in traffic. Number 2, Jamar Burton puts the ball in the red zone, and I believe this is Arlington's offense's first red zone trip this ball game.
Yep, this series of plays seems to be working. There seems to be some adjustment, like you said, the extra man on the line defending Cravens, holding that pocket, and Cravens is able to connect now with some of his receivers.
They might just be quicker pass plays too, not waiting so long for something to develop.
Must have been motion because there was time on the clock. Flag on the play from the far side judge.
Line judge indicates false start, and that'll back up Arlington out of that red zone. The announcer's jinx will take it from the 18 to the 23.
Yeah, you never like to see your offense trying to play from behind the sticks, but at least it's first down to try and get those 15 yards.
Just barely inside Bresl's field goal range, but with the deficit being what it is, you've got to be playing for 6 every time.
You'd think it's four down territory every play right now, trying to climb back into this one.
4 receivers set again. Bowie showing pressure off the corners. They'll back off of it. Cravens steps up, throws, got a man, and overthrew him. Flag will come in at the 32-yard line as Cravens got popped after he let it go. That may have been what forced the high pass. Robertson was open across the middle, but Cravens overshot him.
Well, 44, Powell Goffey was in there in his face and caused the throw by Cravens to be higher and more arcing than what he wanted and made it out of reach for Robertson.
Bowie coach Joseph Sam is 10 to 12 yards out from the sidelines as the roughing the passer will move it back into the red zone and give the Colts a fresh set of downs.
Keeps the play alive thanks to the volunteer defense on that one. Definitely puts the Colts in striking distance with the ball resting at about the 11-yard line.
They can get a first down without getting a touchdown. Because of the penalty, play clock has stopped. 8:55 to go as we hit 10 left on the play clock. Coach Peach telling his offense to get to the line of scrimmage. 7 on the play clock. They'll finally line up with 3, 2, 1. They just get it off. Cravens to the right. Got a man. Deflected away at the last second. Looking for Trayvon Ellis, but Princeton Campbell, listed as a wide receiver, comes in with the good hands to bat it away.
Yep, Cravens kind of telegraphed that one. He was going to that corner the entire time, and that allowed Princeton to zero in on it and close on that pass play and knock it away.
Just brings up second down now, but they are going to go empty unless they move Atokity from the slot to the backfield. 2 left, 3 right. Man in motion, high snap. Cravens will keep. Quarterback draw, up the middle, touchdown, Colts! The zone read that was working on the first drive of the first half works for them on the first drive of the second half, and the Colt offense is on the board.
Good play there by the Arlington offensive line. The left side of the line blew a hole open. You can drive a truck through, and Cravens drove it home.
So they get a stop on defense, and they get a score on offense. Is this the spark Arlington's been needing? Extra point, up, and good. Your new score, 34-14 in favor of the Volunteers. We'll take a short break and be right back with the AISD Game of the Week on ZAP. presented by John Wade Roofing.
Hi everybody, Paul Lovato from Jambo's Barbecue at the historic Arlington Steakhouse here on Division Street. You know we have the best barbecue in Arlington, but did you know we cater special events? From wings for your tailgate party to smoked prime rib for your wedding reception and everything in between. We've got you covered. Call us today. Peace, love, barbecue, and football.
Welcome back to Wilemon Field. 34-14 your score. Bowie very much in control still, but Arlington showing signs of life with a lot of football left to play, Pops.
Lots of time to go here as the Colts are beginning to feel some confidence with a good stop on defense to open up the second half, and then the sustained drive with the good run there by Cravens at the end to get a score on the board. We'll see how things trend here for the rest of the third quarter.
Line drive kick. Bounces in front of the intended target. Bobbles it. It's a live ball at the 5-yard line. And taking it to the 15 is number 13, Zach Duncantel. And I think that was exactly the type of kickoff Arlington was looking for, was a wobbler with a weird hop that would give their coverage team enough time to get down and make a play. Yeah,
once again, Bowie's pinned back behind the 20-yard line there. It's about the same field position they had on their opening drive. And so we'll see if the Arlington defense has an answer for this second drive here of the third quarter. Arlington band playing the traditional defensive hype tune, the horse.
Two tight end look. Nichols and Bowers back there. Bowers gets it to the left side, got some downfield blocking across the 20, and finally going to get lassoed out of bounds by Dermon Cunningham, the 6'2", 175-pound junior defensive back. Good pickup for Bowers, though. He'll get about 6 on that opening carry, second down and short.
Yeah, Cunningham grabbed him a handful of jersey and slung Bowers out of bounds on that one, but not after a good pickup.
Ball resting at the 21-yard line on the near hash now. They'll keep the two tight end look. One receiver split way to the right on one-on-one coverage. Handoff again. Bowers bounces off of his own lineman and will get back to the original line of scrimmage. Pops, I was taking a look at that. Arlington has crowded the box defensively. There are no high safeties 12 to 15 yards deep. Everybody is within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be up to these corners to play one-on-one on these Bowie receivers and hope that they can win those one-on-one battles as a means of trying to stop the run.
Well, it's an interesting response if your thinking is that Bowie's going to grind this out and take time off the clock by maintaining their running game that's been effective. That's a good strategy.
Nichols looking to pass, steps up, lots of time, now running out of it, dodges a tackle, scoops away, and he's got first down yardage in the middle of the field and then some. Across the 30 to the 40, Nichols down the sideline, one man to beat, and he just beat him. Touchdown, Volunteers on the quarterback scramble. 79-yard scamper for Trey Nichols.
Missed tackles abound on the defense for Arlington on that play.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda been a sack, and instead it's 6.
Well, even when Nichols broke through the line and started heading down the field, he blew right past another defender, and he's just a very good athlete.
He is.
I mean, it's not the tackling or the abilities of the defenders. Trey Nichols is just that good.
Lining up for the extra point, Espindola. His kick is true, and with 6:52 to go, your new score, it's the Volunteers 41, the Colts 14. We'll be back with more AISD football on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing after this. Are you a small business owner looking for reliable insurance coverage? Or perhaps you're navigating the complexities of Medicare? Look no further. Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services is a family-owned, independent insurance agency with over 50 years of experience, specializing in tailored insurance solutions for small businesses and their owners. Whether you need property, liability, commercial, auto, or even life and health insurance, their knowledgeable agents can help you feel secure in selecting the insurance you need. Call April or Jason at 817-265-3346 or visit chapman-cornelius.com.
Welcome back to Wilemon Field here in East Arlington for the Bowie Volunteers versus the Colts. And Zach, we've got a palindrome on the scoreboard. Arlington 1-4, Bowie 4-1. 14-41 at this point in the third quarter. Bowie is dominating this ball game.
We called this the de facto district championship, and after their 10-point win against Martin and being in complete control of this one, it is going to be smooth sailing for the Volunteers from here on out. Arlington still has plenty left to play for, as this kick is away and fielded at the 20 by Burton. He'll take it up the sideline into traffic, gets hit from behind and stays on his feet as he takes it to the 40-yard line. A lot of pushing and shoving on that near sideline as tempers flaring between the Colts and the Vols. Gotta play between the whistles. Don't keep playing after the whistles.
Yeah, a little bit of jawing as the teams are going their separate ways as the Arlington offense comes back on the field. You know, Arlington engineered a really good drive on their last possession, and then Bowie just answered.
Yeah.
And took all the wind out of the sails. We'll see how the Arlington offense responds here in this second drive of the third quarter. 6:45 left in this third quarter. With the deficit the way it is, Arlington's offense needs to click on all cylinders if they have any hope here.
They got to keep pace. That's all they can hope for. Two to the left and the right. Cravens calls for it, steps back, goes underneath to a Tokety. He'll make the catch for a modest gain. Before he's brought down just across the 40, we'll give him 2, maybe 3. Two receivers on the right-hand side now. And now there's 2 as Robertson, waving his hands, looking for the play call, now goes to the line of scrimmage. Just over 6 minutes to go. Halfway through the third as Burton comes in motion. Fake it to him, hand to a Tokety. He'll run to that left-hand side. He's got a crease across midfield, and Abe Tokety with his best run of the night as he takes it into Bowie territory.
Good lane opened up for him on the left side there, and his speed took him across midfield, and it's a good run there for the Colts.
It's a jet sweep fake, and everybody bites on the man in motion, and then you go away from that, and some good downfield blocking moves the chains. Empty backfield now for Cravens, and he'll do a quarterback draw, and Bowie sniffed that out.
Yeah, number 16 for the Volunteers. Chibley was not fooled at all on that particular play.
Arjawan Chibley. Sounds like a Star Trek name. We're just on a Star Trek kick tonight. 4 receivers set again. 5.5 to play in the third. Cravens with it, looking to pass. Rolling to his right, under pressure. And he'll tuck it inside the 40 before he's escorted out of bounds. A modest pickup before he is escorted out there by Elijah Atwood. That'll bring up third down and about 7.
Bowie defense got into the backfield on that play, got past the offensive line, and we're chasing Cravens for his life on that play.
I applaud being able to make something out of nothing, but it does bring up a pretty sizable down in distance. Scoreboard says 6. We'll go with that. Ball on the near side, meaning trips to the open side of the field. Cravens rolls to his right, away from those receivers. Running out of real estate, gets hit from behind, and it will go incomplete. He got popped in the square of his back, and he's lucky that didn't get intercepted.
Well, it's Chibley again on the play. He is really breaking free from his opponent and getting into the backfield from that right side of the Bowie defensive line.
The defense being called to the sidelines to put their helmets on as Arlington lines up to go for it on 4th and 6. Empty backfield, 3 to the left, 2 to the right. High snap, looking left, throwing left, and way over the top of his intended target. And that is the 3rd turnover on downs of the evening. Bowie will get it back with 5:05 when we come back from this break here on Zap. The Revamped Football League features former college players and lifelong Madden players alike who seek friendly and organized online competition. Whether you play Dynasty, Ultimate Team, or simple Play Now, enjoy College Football 25 in new and exciting ways with the RFL. Find their Discord group or learn more at revampedfootballleague.com. Back to Wilemon Field as the Colt defense comes back onto the field. The 3rd turnover on downs in Bowie territory. Can't have that many empty possessions. Bowers will get it. Designed to go to the middle, and he tries to take it right, and he may lose a yard on that play.
Tech, we've had a lot of fireworks on the field here tonight from the Bowie offense, and we're watching some fireworks in the distance over the west stands tonight going off here late in the evening.
I don't know what kind of a holiday it is, but 9:10 p.m. and somewhere between here and Fort Worth, there's some fireworks going off.
Different kind of Friday night lights.
Nichols gives to Bowers, cuts to the middle, gets across the 40, but it is not very much. It'll bring up 3rd down and long.
Brought down by the Colts, number 60, Brian Ramsey and company on that play.
Yeah, that was a host of Colts up the middle there.
It's a tackle by committee, bringing up 3rd down for the Volunteers.
Third down and about 8. Tight end to the left. 2 receivers on this open side of the field. Nichols will give to Bowers, and Bowers will get roped down at the line of scrimmage for no gain. And the Colt defense forces a stop.
Troy Gaston getting in the backfield for the Colts, bringing Bowers down on that play.
That's
making a good solid tackle that time.
It's a rare stop, as we have not seen very much of Bowie's punting unit tonight. This may be only their 3rd punt of the evening. I feel like Ethan Alvarez has dished out almost twice that many. They'll send 2 men deep to return this punt.
Ghoston and Robertson back there.
It'll go in the direction of Ghoston. He'll get it at the 30. Gets away from one man down the sideline, spins away from another tackle, and he'll be wrestled down near midfield. We'll see what Arlington can do with this field position with 3:06 to go in the 3rd. You're watching AISD football on Zap. We'll be right back. Taqueria Taco Express is your one-stop shop for all things authentic Mexican in Arlington and Grand Prairie. And this fall, you'll now have 4 stops to choose from. Visit the new location off 20 and Little Road or any of their 3 original locations and try their $10 Taco Tuesday. It includes 5 tacos and an agua fresca. They also feature new birria items plus tortas, gorditas, and more. Find out just how much more by visiting TaqueriaTacoExpress.com. Pass play going for the tunnel screen. This one's caught. Couple of downfield blockers. Robertson gets away from the first level but can't get away from the second level. It's a good pickup, though. It is about 11 or 12 yards and another first down for Arlington.
Yep, the double O, Okello was in Craven's face, and he was able to just loft that ball over into the screen, and Robertson took it from there.
I love his number 0.
Yeah.
His name is Okello, and he wears a big O. It reminds me of DeMarvion Overshone from Texas wearing that big number 0 on the defensive side of the ball.
Speaking of Texas, we got a big game coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, we're not broadcasting that one, though. A little group called ESPN has the rights to that one.
Who?
ESPN.
I thought that was a ski resort.
I'll ignore that as Cravens drops back to pass, going across the middle, into traffic, and caught inside the 20. Wrestled down in the red zone. Trayvon Ellis makes the catch in traffic and moves the sticks.
Nice route run there. Cutting down the right sideline and then angling into the middle of the field.
Well, and Cravens has been throwing it high all evening, but this time Ellis able to elevate for the catch. Burton and Robertson to the left. Ellis and Ghoston to the right. Atokity on the right hip of Cravens. Looking to pass the whole way, lofting it in the direction of Robertson. One-on-one, and he bobbles it. Both players had the jerseys on their shoulder pads removed as there was a lot of contact. No flag. It'll be second down.
Yeah, good battle going on there in the corner of the end zone between those two young men.
Second down and 10. They can get a first down without needing a touchdown. We'll see what Coach Peach and Philip Nelson draw up here in the red zone. We'll have to wait another 30 seconds to find out what that is as Arlington calls timeout with 1:53 to go in the third period. We'll be right back after this timeout with more AISD football on ZAP presented by John Wade Roofing. John Wade Roofing has been serving the Arlington area since 1982, but the Wade legacy runs much deeper in the city of Arlington. A pioneer family that has had roots going back decades, John Wade and Company saw relatives attend the Cooper Street Arlington High campus and has had members play in Colt athletics for decades, and they're looking forward to serving this community for decades to come. Find out more at johnwaderoofing.com. Back to Wilemon Field as Arlington faces a second down and 10 from the 14. Pops, what are you drawing up on a play like this?
I wouldn't be surprised to see Robertson go out there in the Wild Maverick position at this time.
Absolutely.
I mean, you're looking at 4 downs to get to the end zone here. You're not gonna be punting or kicking a field goal. So, Nelson and Peach still have 2 more plays to work with. We haven't seen much of the Wild Maverick tonight, but it looks like Robertson's going up on the line and right on the right side, so it's going to be a traditional set. No. Oh, yeah, no, yeah. He's going in the shotgun.
This is Cravens and Atokity in the gun.
Yep.
3 receivers on the right-hand side. You very rarely see Robertson in the slot, but that is where he is, in the middle of those 3 receivers. Burton in motion. Cravens looking to that right-hand side, throwing to the middle, incomplete.
Robertson was wide open. He's waving his hand going, dude. He broke on a little
in route, it looked
end
like.
route from that middle position, and he broke open, wide open on the end zone.
How do you lose somebody that leads your team in touchdowns? Like, that has to be the number 1 player you scout. Bowie lucky that didn't go for 6. Third down and 10. 1:48 to go here in the third. As you mentioned, Pops, this is 2-down territory as Cravens and Atokity make up the backfield. Burton and Robertson, the 2 to the left. Cravens looking that left-hand side the whole way. Under pressure, escapes to his right, but he won't get away. Wrestled down by number 26, a number we don't have on this Bowie roster, but the sack will push Arlington way out of the red zone. And Daniel Brezel will come on and try to test his leg. This is going to be around a 46, 47-yard field goal attempt. I didn't know the young man had it in him.
Mom, the producer says we got a lot of Bowie fans watching on the broadcast tonight. We're glad to have you aboard. If you know who number 26 is, give us a shout-out. We'd like to give that young man the credit due.
Cravens is the holder. Brezel with the kick, and it is going to be short. Field goal from 47 is no good, and the score remains 41-14 with 55 ticks to go into third. We'll keep it right here at Wilemon Field as they make quick transitions between possessions. And so far, we're paying all the bills, so we're ahead of the game for the time being. And ahead of the game are the Bowie Volunteers, getting the big sack to push Arlington out of makeable field goal range and keep the score what it is.
Yeah, on the third down play, they really dialed up the right play on the defense blitz on that, and they've been able to break through the Arlington offensive line all night. And so it happened once more there, and they were able to nail Cravens, number 26, tackling him in the backfield.
Trips to the right. Nichols was looking left, now sets back again. Gonna fire deep down the middle, 1-on-1. Intercepted! It's another 8 versus 8, and this time Dion Mays wins that battle against Dylan Talley. It was underthrown by Nichols, and it was in the air a long time, and Mays makes the grab for the second turnover forced by this Colt defense. If there was a bright spot to be found, it would be that.
Well, and that 8-on-8 battle has been fun to watch all night. Talley getting the better of Mays most of the evening, making some great plays, but give some credit to Mays on that one for hanging in there and bringing that one in. Colts got the ball at their own 24-yard line. Craven's back out there with 2 receivers left, 1 receiver right.
Bringing that tight end back for extra blocking. And now the play clock begins. Cravens kept it himself, and again,
26
big 26.
Again.
Somebody in the chat let us know who that is, because we don't have him on our current roster, but he'll get the sack. And unless Arlington can snap the ball really quickly, I think we have one more play left to go here in the third period.
Play clock and the game clock really close.
Second down and 15 as the Colts go empty. Cravens back to pass. Got a pocket. Throws across the middle. It's caught back at the 30-yard line. Very close to first down yardage, and that will be the final play of the third period. 12 minutes left in this clash of the Titans, but it looks like the Volunteers are in command in this particular clash. We'll see how the final quarter plays out on the other side of the break. This is the AISD Game of the Week on Zap, presented by John Wade Roofing.
Taquería Taco Express es la taquería oficial de Zach Arnold Productions. Extraordinaria y auténtica comida mexicana. Aquí encontrarás el mejor menú para el paladar más exigente. Puedes visitarlos en una de sus 3 sucursales ubicadas en Arlington y en Green Prairie. No te pierdas de su grandioso especial todos los martes, Taco Tuesday, de 5 tacos y un agua fresca por solo $10. Para encontrarnos o hacer un pedido, visítalos a su página web taqueriatacoexpress.com.
Fans, the fourth quarter is presented by our friends at Pecan Park Dental. Pecan Park offers various dental services tailored to meet your individual needs. With the latest technology and friendliest staff in town, let Pecan Park help you achieve and maintain healthy teeth for a lifetime. Call 817-497-8826 to schedule your way to a brighter smile.
There's more smiles on one side of the field than there are on the other.
But there's still nowhere else I'd rather be on a Friday night, Pops.
It's a great atmosphere. There's lots of fans. Nobody's leaving yet.
Friday night lights in Texas just means something different. It's more than a sport, it's a lifestyle. 3 receivers to the left on this third down and short. Cravens will keep it himself. Quarterback draw up the middle, lowers his head, and now lowers his shoulder and gets across the 40 for a first down.
Coleman Craven's doing more of the rushing yardage pickup here tonight than his running back. Offensive line opening up some holes there between the center and right guard.
It'll move it to the 42. And I would venture that thanks to Cravens, Arlington is finally out of the negative rush yards that they had at halftime. Story stays in as the H-back. Coleman under pressure, steps away, bumps into his own man, steps away again, and then the turf monster gets to him as he falls down at the 32.
Yeah, he ran into his big lineman. He thought he was going to be able to escape the defense and run upfield, but he ran right up the back of big number 73 for Arlington and was able. He got Iggy, okay, Elijah Zubi
Ibi-Ezugbe is what Coach Peach told me. Ibi-Ezugbe.
Ibi Izube got in the way.
Second down and 20 after that loss. High snap, Cravens corrals it. Bubble screen, caught. A little bit of room up the middle of the field. They'll get back to the original line of scrimmage. Pickup of about 10 on the play to number 3, Tayshawn Ghostin. 6'2", 180-pound senior receiver. And they're right back where they started, 3rd down and 10.
So at this position on the field, are we still looking at 4-down territory when you're on your own 41, 42?
I don't know. I think if we send out the punt team, that is the proverbial white flag here.
Yeah.
If you want,
you've tried a fake punt and failed.
If you really, really want to keep your team in it, you go for it. Unless you get sacked, which is what happens back at the 30. Defensive pressure, a couple of linebackers coming up and bringing Cravens back down near the 30-yard line.
Shea Ferguson really doing a good job calling those blitzes at just the right time.
And here comes Alvarez. 9.5 to go in the game. Excuse me.
Well, when you lose that much yardage on a well-timed blitz, you can't do a 4th down play on 4th and 22.
You don't have anything dialed up for 4th and 22. Nobody does.
The Colts haven't been making 4th and 10 tonight when they tried it. So you're not going to try 4th and 22. But you're right. This may be the proverbial white flag here.
An official timeout on the field as they try to sort out some logistical questions. The trainers coming out to offer water bottles, but I don't believe it's that type of stoppage of play.
Coach Sam is all the way out at the 30-yard line number on the field, questioning what's going on. Coach Beach, hands on hips on this side of the field, trying to figure out what the herd of zebras are talking about.
I believe the clock may have stopped, even though it was a sack, so the clock should have continued to run.
Looks like they've got it sorted out. Breslow gets back in his position to kick this one away. Johnny Macon getting back. Sorry, Alvarez. Alvarez back to kick.
Clock is not running, even though the referee signaled it to. Alvarez gets it away. It'll go across midfield, but not much further as it bounces out of bounds at the 46. That's where the Colts will get the ball. I mean, the Volunteers, rather. And this quick transition precludes us from the opportunity to say hello to some more of our friends. But we have a lot of friends tuning into tonight's broadcast. We have very rarely gone beneath 60 live the whole broadcast. We've peaked at about 77. Over 500 total views during a live broadcast. It'll probably double by the time it's all said and done. This is a venture that has been 5 years in the making, going from a little Mixler broadcast in 2019 to a 4-person setup here tonight. Nichols with the swing pass. Lowering the shoulder is number 8, Dylan Talley. He'll bring it into Arlington territory, picking up about 5 or 6 on the play.
I like the aggressive play there by Coach Sam. They're keeping the foot on the pedal and continuing to drive against this Arlington defense that's had very little answers to that tonight.
It's stacked doubles, one receiver behind the other. New play call comes in from offensive coordinator Willie Carter, a former Tulsa Golden Hurricane fullback, as Nichols throws it deep and incomplete.
Intended for Kedrick Osindi Brown on that play. Just a little bit overthrown.
There may have been a defensive hold in the middle of the field that went unnoticed, and it will bring up 3rd down and very short. As Bowie substitutes, so too does Arlington. It's going to be a shotgun wishbone. Actually, everybody is bunched to the right-hand side. This is their goal line power formation as Bowers gets it and powers his way through everybody. There goes Darian Bowers, tripped up at the 20. A touchdown saving tackle by who else? Number 8, Dion Mays, all over the field tonight. But it is a first down for the Vols.
Great play design as they bunched up on the right side and then run left. Very same play call again as Bowers is already off and running, but they've thrown a flag on that play for illegal motion most likely.
Possibly a bit premature.
Oh, now we got a little extracurricular activity.
Coaching staff for Bowie running out from the sidelines to separate their players. The last thing you want in plus territory is a 15-yard penalty. And now Coach Peach coming out from the sidelines all the way to the huddle. He's going to have a word with every single member of his defensive line. Play between the whistles as we hit 7 minutes and 51 seconds to go here at Wilemon Field.
Kind of unusual to see the referees allow the coaches to get that much interaction in between a play. The referees would rather avoid conflict, though, by their coaches calming their players down.
Yeah, I think in that moment you're showing the coaches a little bit of grace, knowing that they're the best possibility of de-escalating a situation. But yeah, that is a first for me. I got to tell you about a first that I watched last night on the call with Jared Jones of Antler Sports Network. Seguin versus Colleyville Heritage. The Heritage coach declined an interception in the end zone and ended up getting plus 35 yards of field position as a result. Seguin threw a pick in the end zone, and rather than accept the interception, they accepted the holding penalty that backed Seguin out of field goal range. They got another sack and another tackle for loss, forced a turnover on downs on the other side of the field. Bowers on this side of the field, taking it, bouncing off of would-be tacklers, and inside the 5. It's the first time I've ever seen a turnover get declined.
Yeah.
Because if it's a touchback, you get it at the 20.
Right.
But this one ended up on the other side of midfield after the turnover on downs a couple of plays later.
Well, I'll tell you, it's been disappointing to see Seguin run into some buzzsaws here in the last several weeks. They've lost 3 in a row now after starting off so well early in the season.
Fighting for their playoff lives as Bowers takes this up the middle for Bowie. An Arlington player loses his hat on the play as Bowers makes it to about the 2-yard line or so. This is number 90, Cam Gray, who will have to sit out for a play as Bowie moves the chains enough for a 1st and goal. Coming up on being midway through this 4th period of play. It'll be 2nd and goal after that run now. Handoff up the middle. Bowers is sitting out this play. This is number 14, Denzel Ponder, who will not make it. Ball goes to the 3-yard line. Might have lost a half a yard as Gray checks back into the ball game. Big 3rd down for the Colt defense. At this point, you're looking for potential moral victories, Pops. If you can keep them out of the end zone and maybe force a field goal, it's something that you can look at on the film as you get ready for Lamar next week.
Bowers trots back on the field for the Volunteers. He just took a little breather. Ponder did quite a bit of the ball toting earlier in the year.
Powell Goffey in as the blocker. They go with the fade route, and the flag comes in from the back of the end zone.
That one thrown on number 8, Mays against number 8, Tally.
Mays is pointing to the referee that's closer and saying he didn't throw the flag. Why did you?
Yeah, the flag came from under the goalpost in the center of the field. Mays still appealing to the line judge on the home side of the field.
He's saying, sir, you didn't see anything. Why can't you overrule him? Powell Goffey and number 0, Okello coming in as the lead fullback blockers. Foul occurred in the end zone. It's 1st and goal at the 2 now. They're going to try the fade again, and it's almost picked off by Mays. A lot of pushing and shoving there between Mays and Talley. He almost undercut that one, though. They faked the fade and tried to go with a little out route, see if they could get Mays to overcommit to the deep corner. He did not, and it'll be second down and goal from the 2.
There's a lot of talk, a lot of jawing going on between Mays and Talley. Quite a competition between those two tonight.
Up the middle. No signal yet from either line judge. Bowers.
They're going to call him short.
Short at the half-yard line. And it'll be third down. This is one of the unfortunate circumstances of having an offense that only plays out of the shotgun. Clock continues to roll as substitutions and play calls come in. 12 seconds on the play clock as they go spread this time. Bowers on Nichols' left hip. Now they'll go under center. Now they push, and the plunge may not have gotten there. Second effort, what's the call?
They're still calling him short.
They say he's short. The Colt D-line with a half yard of working room gets the stop for fourth down.
Talley still with his arms up for in the touchdown position on the far outside. But the referees are what count. What will Bowie do here?
Well, and Trey Nichols lost his helmet and had to put it back on. And he'll have to come off for a play unless Coach Sam calls a timeout. He does not. And on comes number 19, Brody Ferguson. And this is number 10, Jaden Bibbs, the backup quarterback. And now Coach Sam elects to take a timeout on fourth and goal from the half-yard line. We'll take a timeout with him with 4:23 to go on the AISD Game of the Week on ZAP, presented by John Wade Roofing. Thanks to Pecan Park Dental for supporting tonight's game. For busy families looking to improve their smiles, Dr. Stephanie Bangs offers clear aligners, a convenient, discreet way to straighten teeth without brackets and wires. Perfect for students, parents, and anyone who wants a beautiful smile with minimal fuss. Visit Pecan Park Dental in Arlington and make the clear choice for your family's dental health. Fourth and goal from the half-yard line. By taking a timeout, Jaden Bibbs no longer has to fill in for Trey Nichols, who has had a heck of a night.
And the discussion right now is, do you go for it on fourth and goal? I totally agree with Coach Sam's considering going for it here.
Oh, absolutely.
Because in case, if the occurrence comes that Arlington is able to stop them, their offense, which has been sputtering all night.
It's been anemic.
Yes. Has to drive from the half-yard line. So this is a win-win for Bowie here to go for it on fourth and goal.
Trey Nichols has run for 215 yards. He needs a half yard more to get his third rushing touchdown of the night. Bowers with 2 rushing scores of his own, according to the Dallas Morning News. Bowie has outrun Arlington 255-8. Shotgun here. Nichols with the pitch. Bowers to the goal line, sheds a tackle, and he's in. Touchdown, Volunteers.
Yeah, Bowie just driving the nail in the coffin.
There's a phrase, it's called leave no doubt.
Yep, there's no doubt here. Bowie is right now the best team in the district.
Arlington still with a lot left to play for, but the Volunteers have the inside track at the district title after this convincing result tonight. Bowie is at Haltom next week. Then they are versus Lamar. And then they finish the season at South Grand Prairie. Extra point up and good. 4:18 to go in the ballgame. We'll be right back with the AISD Game of the Week on ZAP, presented by John Wade Roofing. Hey Arlington residents, are you tired of rising insurance rates? Then it's time to make the switch to Chapman Cornelius Insurance Services, Inc. Since 1984, they've been your trusted local insurance experts, offering competitive quotes for all your needs. Auto, homeowners, umbrella, renters, boats, and even classic cars. Why settle for less when you can get the best? Compare coverages today and see how much you can save. Call April or Jason at 817-265-3346. Chapman Cornelius, your local insurance partner since 1984. Just over a third of the quarter left to go. Pops, what's it looking like over in the one town to the east?
Well, you were giving us a rundown on what Bowie's got left in their schedule, and the only blip on their radar would be South Grand Prairie, and they are beating the Gophers tonight 48-13.
It's unfortunate.
But Arlington whipped South Grand Prairie.
They did, with a powerful running game.
That's been non-existent
and
tonight.
A powerful run defense that was able to stop one of the best rushers in 6A in DFW. And tonight, they've given up over 250 yards rushing.
Yep, the Colt team has just had no answer for the Volunteers tonight on either side of the ball.
Surprise, surprise, Jamar Burton on the kickoff return. He'll take it near side. Got a little bit of a crease, sheds a tackle across the 35 before he's finally escorted out of bounds by Denzel Ponder. 48-14 the score. Utter domination by the boys in black. We talked about Arlington Bowie's remaining schedule. Arlington High's remaining schedule includes a game at Choctaw against Lamar next week. Then they are at Grand Prairie before they finish the season on November the 7th against those Martin Warriors. Arlington needs just one win to be in the playoffs. They are currently 3-0, about to be 3-1 in district. One more win puts them in. Two puts them in contention for a top 2 seed. This will be Ethan Alvarez handing it off as Arlington's second unit comes into the ballgame.
Interesting time to put the seconds in. Might as well get them a few reps. There's no real apparent hope at making this ballgame competitive, so might as well give the seconds some time.
Ghoston and Burton are still in the wide receiver spots, but the new running back for the Colts is number 21, Christian Moore, 5'8", 180-pound sophomore. Alvarez gets it, looking to pass. It's caught by Burton. It's a decent pickup. We'll give him 4 on that catch. Isaiah Robertson is still out there in the wide receiver position, so it looks like the main substitutions are at quarterback and running back with Alvarez and Moore. But we'll likely see some more changes as we get into the final 3 minutes and change here at Wilemon Field. Fans, a reminder to stay tuned for the postgame show presented by our friends at John Wade Roofing. Alvarez with the keeper. Got a good block, got the corner. Lowers his shoulder. I like that effort as he heads towards the Bowie 40-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 3 for him. We'll have some more scores from around the district for you, some stats from this game, thoughts and analysis on the remaining schedule, and a brief recap of the history of Zach Arnold Productions as we culminate tonight with our very first, but hopefully not the last, video broadcast of AISD football. Burton in motion. Moore will get it, and he will get met at the 41-yard line. Wrapped up for no gain, maybe a half a yard lost on the play as Galatian Palagofi makes the stop for the Volunteers.
Volunteer defense continuing to be swarming on the Colt offense. Looks like the offense for the Arlington High defense, Arlington offense is going to stay out there on this 4th down play.
It's just a bunch of knees from the Volunteers if this is a turnover on downs. Arlington hoping for a little something as they face 4th down near midfield. Alvarez back to pass, looking for Robertson. Got him on the go route. Can he hit him? Yes! Robertson! Touchdown, Arlington! The touch pass makes it in for a touchdown as Arlington gets a little something nice before they head home.
Well, it was a really nice pass, as you mentioned, from Alvarez, the backup quarterback. Nice arc on the ball, good touch, perfect timing for Robertson, and he was able to stroll into the end zone on that play.
Coleman Cravens will remain the holder as Brezel comes on for the extra point attempt. One last go-round of the Sons of the White and Green as a flag is thrown on the extra point attempt. I don't think it will affect the outcome of that extra point. So while they sort it out, we'll take a break and come back with the final minute 26 here at Wilemon Field for the AISD Game of the Week. Looking for the most unique gift for your student or athlete? Local Legends Figures has you covered. The custom 6-inch figures are designed with you and your legend in mind. They even immortalize yours truly with a custom, never-before-used model to create a Zach the Voice figure for my 30th birthday. Huge thanks to our friends at Local Legends Figures. See pricing and place orders at locallegendsfigures.com.
Las albercas en Texas necesitan servicios durante todo el año. Romy Pools brinda servicios de calidad, incluyendo limpieza, mantenimiento y reparaciones. Llama al número 469-951-0107 para una consulta gratuita y pregunta por Roberto. Romy Pools, haremos que te enamores de tu alberca de nuevo.
A minute 26 to go. Just for kicks, I would like to see an onside kick here. You got nothing to lose. You've got an opportunity to practice your special teams. If you kick it away, all Bowie's going to do is run it or knee it anyways. And I see number 29 coming out for the Colts. This is Emmanuel Barajas, 5'10", 150-pound junior kicker. So they'll give him some reps. We'll see what kind of rep he gets. Well, we'll have to wait and see what Barajas does as Coach Peach calls his second timeout. Pops, Arlington has Lamar next week. Based on what we have seen so far, Lamar's offense looks a little bit more anemic than even Arlington's did tonight. I would be very curious to see how that game at Choctaw plays out and if Arlington takes out some of their frustration on the Vikings next weekend.
Yeah, we'll give you the final scores when we get to the John Wade postgame show here. Be just a little over a minute and a half away. It is a final from that Lamar game, so we'll have a good wrap up.
Barajas does send it away. Only one man deep. It's a dribbler, and I think Arlington fell on it. The up man did not corral it, and Arlington recovers it at the 24.
Berto bobbled it, and it got away from him, kind of like what happened to Trey Nichols earlier when that ball squibbled away from him. And the Arlington Special Teams was there to pounce on it.
You know, this is a little bit of a spark of life that this team has needed. It seems very unlikely that they'll come away with a win, but if they can get some more points and make it a respectable final score, you have some things that you can take pride in for next week's ball game. Alvarez with the complete twos unit now as he takes it and throws to the right-hand side. That's a catch and a run and a take out of bounds by number 28, Kealan Wilson, to the 15-yard line. A decent pickup as a flag is thrown at the 5-yard line. No idea what this could be unless it's a defensive hold.
You know, you talked about the Arlington-Lamar game coming up next week. As an Arlington High alum, I always loved the Arlington-Lamar matchup because when I was in school, that was the big rivalry in town.
They're There's 2 flags on the play, one at the 14-yard line. This is a personal foul against the Colts. I guess the flag at the 5-yard line may have been the same thing. I'm not entirely sure. But
I think it's academic at this point.
The penalty will move it back to the 30-yard line. A minute 17 to go in this ball game, and right after that, we'll bring you in-house for the postgame show presented by our friends at John Wade Roofing, Arlington's favorite roofer since 1982. Number 80 in at wide receiver, Robert Jackson, the left-hand slot. Wide to the left is number 13, Jakeemus Turner. Alvarez relaying instructions with 10 seconds on the play clock. Pump fakes, under pressure, spins away from one, but not the other, and he'll get sacked back at the 40.
Number 26 for the Bowie defense, making another good play for them.
We never did.
One of the first things we're going to do on Monday is request a new roster from Coach Sam.
Never did get that young man's name, but he had a heck of a night defensively. 30 seconds to go before this one is final. Arlington likely to get 1, maybe 2 plays off before we wrap this thing up. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Running back moves to Alvarez's left. Draw play, and this will be the final play of the game. The run up the middle with 7 seconds left will do it for us here at Wilemon Field. Final score in this one, Bowie 48, Arlington 21. The AISD Game of the Week turned out to be very much in favor of the young men from East Arlington as they have the traditional handshake at midfield. Pops, I don't know about you, but I was not expecting the outcome that we ended up with. On paper, these two teams looked evenly matched, but the defensive scheme from Coach Shane Ferguson, the offensive assault by Trey Nichols proved to be too much for Arlington tonight.
Yeah, this was not the lopsided expectation we had coming into tonight. We saw a clash of the Titans in an evenly matched ball game, but it did not turn out that way at all as Bowie dominated completely and totally on both sides of the ball.
Still a lot of football left to be played in this season for both teams, but right now, schedule-wise, the Volunteers have the inside track to the district championship. Welcome inside the broadcast booth on the East Grandstands. Zach Arnold Productions headquarters, more or less. Zach Arnold and my pops Doug on the call for this District 8-6A competition. Mom the Voice taking on the role of Mom the Producer a second night this season. And Jot Holly working the camera magic that gave us our very first video broadcast of AISD football. Super, super thankful to everyone involved who helped make this possible, especially on such short notice. I literally got word yesterday that we were approved for this, and in the span of about 36 hours, we were able to make it happen.
Well, it's a historic night, and hopefully it's the dawning of a new era for Zach Arnold Productions as we get to start bringing you live action from the ball field, hopefully from here forward.
We'll have to find out in due time, but this was a great debut. We have officially eclipsed the 600 view mark. We peaked at about 78 live, and this has just been a great night for Arlington ISD and a great night for Zap. How does the rest of Arlington ISD look and the rest of 8-6A, Pops?
Well, we were talking about that Lamar-Sam Houston game, and poor Sam Houston, they're just hapless, and we are going to be bringing you their game next week right here from Wilemon Field as they go to homecoming against Grand Prairie. But tonight it was another tough road for them as Lamar beat them 42-17.
That's strange because it looked like it was a closer game at the half, but the halftime adjustments very much in favor of Lamar there. And
Yep.
I think part of Sam Houston's struggles is they run out of gas at times.
They do.
We've noticed that in last week's game between Arlington and Sam. They were competitive in that first half, but just let it get away.
The clock has ticked out on the Martin-Haltom game, and the final score looks like Haltom 56, Martin 48.
No way.
Yep.
We'll have to verify that for sure, but the Dave Campbell's app very rarely tells untruths. If Haltom is able to take down Martin and hand them their second loss of the district play, who knows who else could beat them? Could Martin end up missing the playoffs?
That'd be very unusual in
That
this.
would be wild if Arlington can
district.
if Arlington can beat them and somebody else upsets them.
Right.
Who knows? This is a wide open district this year, folks.
The war at the Gopher Warrior Bowl went in favor of South Grand Prairie, 49-13, and we were keeping an eye on the game between Coppell and Louisville, and Coppell ran away with it in the second half, 55-28.
The Coppell Cowboys took care of business against Bowie earlier in the season. They have been taking care of business against everybody. They now have the inside track to the district title in 5-6A.
You know, I'll tell you, you mentioned the Coppell Cowboys and that loss that Bowie took early in the year. And I have to circle back and give Coach Sam some credit. We thought that he was just a little on the crazy side, picking those really difficult teams and getting whooped so hard in those preseason games. But you know what it did is it sharpened this team.
It did.
It really toughened them up, and they took 3 hard losses, boom, boom, boom. And ever since then, they've been a juggernaut.
They have. And it was no different tonight. The stats are final from the Dallas Morning News. 443 yards of offense, 293 of those on the ground. Larry Nichols leading the charge with 215 rush yards and 2 scores. Bowers complimenting him with 26 carries for an even 100 and another 3 scores. And unfortunately, this is the stat of the game, Pops. Arlington finished with -2 rushing yards. They had -1 at the half. They finished with -2 on the game. When you get outrushed 293 to -2, very rarely are you in a ball game.
No, and you got outrushed, but you also got out-muscled on the lines.
You did.
That's indicative of a strong defensive line and great defensive pressure by Shane Ferguson. He was calling blitzes at the right time and the right place all night long.
He did.
Because Cravens took more sacks tonight than we've seen all year. And they were sacks for 10 yards or more every time. And so the Bowie defensive line was dominating the Arlington offensive line, and it just went on all night. The Bowie offensive line controlled the line of scrimmage when they were on offense, and it was just a difficult night, but for the Colts, but a great night for the Bowie Volunteers as they're getting up from their post-game talk from Coach Sam, and they're pretty jazzed, and they should be.
I would be too. And we're looking forward to covering Bowie the rest of the year. They are definitely on track to make the postseason. Zach Arnold Productions intends to cover Bowie football throughout their entire regular season and postseason run. So we'll have all hands on deck for them. And if Arlington makes the postseason, win and in, one more win, and Arlington is in the playoffs as well. But they'll have to wait another week to do it. We can't let the evening pass without mentioning that it is a night very near and dear to the Bowie faithful's hearts, as the Strather Project, honoring a young man who fell a couple of years ago in a senseless piece of violence that took place on the Bowie campus. It's intended to leverage staff, student, and community fellowship to foster peaceful schools through a commitment of nonviolence and courageous action. Through friendship and understanding, we can leverage the power of love and keep our schools safe.
I remember where I was on that day. I was teaching at Mansfield Summit High School, and we went on lockdown, and it was a very difficult day for the entire Arlington community.
So they're trying to honor this young man and a couple of others that have been lost over the last couple of years. So we wanted to make sure, we didn't get to do it during pregame, but we wanted to make sure that we honored 46 and the legacy that he now leaves. We love the phrase leave a legacy. It's Arlington's mantra, but it's something that every school in every part of Arlington ISD is trying to do, and that is exactly what this Strather Peace Project does for Bowie High School. The fifth quarter postgame show is presented by John Wade Roofing. John Sr. played for Arlington High and was the team MVP in '76. He also played for TCU and UTA, earning all-conference and conference champion honors. After a stint with the Houston Oilers, he started roofing in '82, and he never looked back. His legacy on the gridiron is now matched by the legacy that the company has built in the community for over 40 years. The next time you have roofing needs or gutters, painting, solar, or more, call the family that does more at 817-265-5520. Some other games to look forward to coming up. Bowie is at Haltom next week. We don't follow Bowie on the road, so there'll be no broadcast for that one, unfortunately. Arlington's next game will be on October the 25th against the Lamar Vikings, and then we'll have another game on Zap with Sam Houston versus Grand Prairie on YouTube. That may be a more traditional Zap View broadcast as we make the transition into video coverage. It may not be every single game, but we will try to handpick some games for you that we feel like we would be able to pull off appropriately. And hopefully there's a lot of good lessons learned and a lot of fun had from this trial run. Pops, I want to give a little bit of history before we call it a night to showcase the impact that this evening has for us as a company, as a family, and as members of this City of Arlington community. I was a ball boy for Arlington High years and years ago. Moved on to being a character coach after graduating high school. Got a communication degree from UT Arlington. And then I turned around and looked for a way to utilize that. And I asked head coach Scott Peach back in 2019 if he had a radio person. He said he didn't, and he was willing to give it a try if I was able to put the money up front so I didn't have to ask for anything from the boosters or the school district. I had to front it myself. I had to get the money for the equipment, for the computer, for the mixer, the $200+ headset that makes us sound as good as we do. And this is game 205 that has been produced since that very first game in 2019. 205 games later, we finally make it to the big leagues. And it's not through anything that was an individual effort. I know you guys would want to try to put things back on me, but this would not have happened without the team effort, without you and Mom's support, without people like Jot who wanted to come alongside, who saw the vision and literally helped us see the field tonight with the camera work. All of the multitasking that goes on this table here on top of the video production is just not something one or two people are capable of doing. It's a team effort, and the Zap team pulled off something that we have been waiting 5+ years to do. And I'm so proud, and I'm so thankful, and I'm so happy that everybody enjoyed what we put on tonight. Nothing but positive reviews from people in the comments, people on social media, text messages. I know that there's still wrinkles to work out. We're going to work on those. But it's been a heck of a ride the last 5 years, and I'm so excited to see what the future holds for Zach Arnold Productions.
It really was. It's been a fun time for me to watch the progression. You got to give a big shout out to your lovely bride who supports you minute by minute and day by day and in this venture, and she supports your dream. And so big shout out to Edna, and we just look forward to the future. The future looks bright.
It does indeed. The future looks bright for the Bowie Volunteers for sure, as they have the inside track to the district championship now. Arlington still looking for that one win that would put them in the postseason. Bowie will be on the road at Haltom, as I mentioned, and we'll have Arlington versus Lamar as they chase that playoff spot. But I think that is going to do it for us before they turn the lights off on us here at Wilemon Field. We want to thank everyone that tuned in tonight for supporting local football, local business, and local broadcasts by tuning in to this game tonight. For all of us at Zach Arnold Productions, until next time, good night from Arlington, Texas.